I hope you're having yourselves a fantastic morning this morning. I am so happy to be here with you inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Cafe Kubal, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, as well as on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners. You will find them as well in North Syracuse in their drive-through location. So head out there today to any one of their many locations and show some love for local and get yourself to fill your cup up right, as we do here on Wake Up Call. Fill your cup up right with some Cafe Kubal. I fill mine with chai. You can fill yours with chai, tea, coffees, whatever you'd like. But warm up today at Cafe Kubal and support local. So make sure you do that. And you could go to any one of their locations. If you're out of town, you can always go to cafekubal.com. That's cafe, Kubal.com, and order from them right off their website. So make sure you do that. Happy to be here all around the country and the world. We are worldwide on Wake Up Call, and I love it. I love the fact that we get to say that. I love the fact that we get to do it Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're with you on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com, all /WakeUpCallDT. We're also with you on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and on Facebook.com /LiveNowDT. So, awesome show set up for you inside of Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com is what's popping. By the way, Ma and Pa's, perfect place to go for Valentine's Day. A lot of treats for your honey, for your kids, for everybody that you care about, for mom and dad. So when you want to get something sweet, sometimes savory, right, and you want to go and get some fun stuff for Valentine's Day, go to Ma and Pa's. If you want to get something for yourself, if you're your own Valentine, treat yourself at Ma and Pa's, 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Head over there, get some awesome stuff. We're going to be shooting some video and taking some pictures from there as well, so I'll showcase what they have going on, but you definitely want to get out to Ma and Pa's and do it before Valentine's Day. Don't wait until the last minute so that you could get what you need and get some really cool stuff. So awesome things that they're doing over there always, including for this wonderful Valentine's Day holiday coming up for us. So make sure that you head out there today in this weekend and grab what you need to grab. You're going to have some time, right? It's going to be cold as all get out, so you'll have some time to go and get some good stuff over at Ma and Pa's. We appreciate them so very much, and we appreciate you going over there. With that being said, inside of Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com's What's Poppin', we bring you the annoying moment of the week. The annoying moment of the week is going to be first on the docket, as it always is on a Friday. The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, where I have the opportunity to talk about whatever has annoyed me this week in a fun, yet hopefully maybe informative way. So we'll talk about that. Then we'll get into LEAD, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver is what the acronym LEAD stands for. It was created in 2019, December 2019, right before the pandemic really hit here in the States. And it's amazing how God works, that this LEAD idea came to my mind. And learning, evolving, ad-libbing, and delivering are all things that we had to deal with pretty immediately after this segment came about. So, I was trying to find a faith-based segment, think of something that would make sense, would be a great acronym, an acronym that could stand on its own and that could mean something. And I want to thank God, by the grace of God, we were able to come up with LEAD. And I was just sitting there with Jimmer, and we had lunch one day, and it was as simple as just talking about it for a couple minutes, and here we are a few years later with Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay proudly presenting LEAD, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. Today's topic is going to be you are the reflection of your actions. So you are the reflection of your actions. We're going to talk about that, and I'm very excited to talk about that topic. Then we'll get into my top dog of the week announcement. I'll be announcing who I believe is this week's top dog, so you could pay attention and tune in to hear what I have to say for that. Proudly presented by Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. In my opinion, the only place to bring your dog for short and long-term care when you got to drop them off for a few hours, or if you're going on vacation and you want somebody to watch them that you feel safe with and you know they're going to be okay. Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. They're an extension of your family, in my opinion. They do a fantastic job, and they definitely should have your business. So make sure you head out there today. And then we'll round out the show with my buddy Ross Turetsky, fellow broadcaster and writer, and the other half to my Arson Coke. So for those of you that don't know, Arson Coke was created out of 2 typos online. And we're not doing it to make fun of the person that committed the typos by any stretch of the imagination at all. We were talking about it one day, and we were on the air live, and I said to Ross, I go, that'd be kind of cool, like a buddy cop thing, Arson Coke. And we just started talking about it, and it made sense, and it was funny, and it was exciting. And so I said, you know what? Why don't we take on the personas, the monikers of Arson Coke? So Ross is going to be joining me for our Arson Coke segment, our bit, whatever you want to call it. We'll be having some fun this morning at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time with Ross, where sports meets life, in our Arson Coke special. So, yes, we are Dan Tortora, a.k.a. DT, and Ross Turetsky. We are also Arson Coke, him being Arson and myself being Coke. So, we'll have a good time this morning with you, and always looking forward to it. So, with that being said, let's hop into the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like, and we are always happy to be here with Carvel all throughout the year. Don't let the cold weather fool you. Carvel's awesome flavors remain there all year long, fresh and fantastic. And you got to make sure that for Valentine's Day, you go out there and get a nice Valentine's ice cream cake to bring that home to yourself, to your loved ones, to that special someone. You don't want to miss out on the opportunity all throughout the year. With that being said, let's get into the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you... Is that for real? Are you kidding me? The annoying moment of the week. I'm really honest. I don't know how to respond to this. Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like. You have to be that crazy. I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. My annoying moment for this week is unique. Definitely unique. So, my dad and I had lunch yesterday. And in having lunch with my dad, he decided to tell me a story about a camera that he has set up, and there's a light that he has at his house, and it kept getting tripped. So he moved his camera from one part of the outside of the house to another part to move it to where this light kept getting tripped, because he wanted to know what was making the light do it. So he said, okay, you know what? I'm going to move this around, and I'm just going to take a look at what's going on. So the camera takes pictures, right? Takes pictures and video, whatever. So my dad can load it onto the computer, and he can check it. So this thing keeps tripping the light. My dad has the camera now pointing in that direction. And he decides, you know what? Let me go check the camera and let me see what I see. And my dad saw something. Something that I never thought my dad was going to say. So, the annoying moment of the week for this week, we'll get into why it's annoying, but let's get into what he saw. So, my dad takes all the stuff, puts it on the computer, and starts to watch it. And he sees that there's 3 cats. Those 3 cats were all together in the driveway. And then 2 of the cats decided to have sexual relations. I don't know how to say it any other way. So, two of the cats decided to get after it. Hopefully consensually, but get after it, right? So my first question to my dad was, what was the other cat doing? Like, yeah, what that looked like. You know what I mean? Like, what was the third cat doing? Was the cat a voyeur? Was the cat filming it? Did the cat have TikTok on Instagram Live? I was wondering. So my dad tells me, he's like, yeah, he goes, there's this thing, kept tripping it. Turns out it's three cats. Never in a million years after my dad said it was three cats. We were eating lunch, by the way. Never in a million years after my dad said, hey, it's three cats, did I think he was going to say what he said next. He's like, yeah. All of a sudden, this one cat and this other cat started doing it, right? And then the other cat just kind of was like there, I guess, hanging out. So I had two questions, and this is why it's the annoying moment of the week. Number one, why was the other cat invited and not involved? That was kind of rude. And number two, here I am, single, no Valentine, right? No romance. And the cats get to go crazy, and I'm just chilling. Really, bro? Really? Really? So, I mean, that's where I'm at this morning. The cats are out there, you know? I guess the cat's out of the bag now. But the cats are out there doing their thing, having some fun, enjoying life. You know? Good for them. So maybe you know, maybe I'm like that third cat where I'm just like, you know what? I'm not doing it, but might as well see what's going on. But I could never voyeur. I could never do it. That's just weird. It's strange, right? What would you do if you like one day were like changing and you just so happened to like look across? Because where I was, like where my room was, Greg, don't be sending me cat emojis like that. That's dirty, bro. Come on now. But when I was growing up, same house actually. When I was growing up, in my room I had one window. And if I got changed in front of the window, like the other house was so close that they could see you, right? So what would you do if you like saw a voyeur? Do you like call the cops? Do you like yell over to them, don't look? If you find them attractive, do you like, hey, you know, do you hold up a sign and say, do you like what you see? I don't know what is okay and not okay, you know, but I could never do it. I could never be like, you know, because that's creepy and it's super weird. But apparently that's what one of the cats was doing. You know, these three cats, for whatever reason, decided that my dad's house is prime real estate for some late night nookie. And so they go over to the house and they're like, yeah, Ralph's sleeping. And so they, you know, and I'm sure my dad, when he hears this, if he's listening right now, is like, Lord Jesus. But I mean, let's be real about it. So, you know, I mean, these three cats were tripping the light a bunch of times. So we don't know how many times, how many relations they've had. And I feel like my dad has a right to know because he has to walk on that pavement where, you know, things have happened. And it's important. And I guess what it should teach us all is you never know what people have done in places that you have been, right? And people always like freak out about hotel rooms, and I can't know about it. I really can't. Because I've been in hotel rooms before where there was like, you know, something red all over the curtain and it looked like blood, but you tell yourself it's ketchup and you just don't touch that part of the curtain. And then, you know, there was one recently, there was a wonderful coiled piece of hair, and I'm not going to say what it is. Y'all know what it is. But it was sitting on the bed, like right in front of my pillow, like waiting for me, like standing up, like, hello, sir. I've been waiting all day for you. You know, I mean, I'm just like, ew. Like, why is that there? I always check for bed bugs. But, you know, it's like you go to these hotels, and listen, I travel a lot, so I'm staying in hotels a lot. I'm never going to take a black light to a hotel because it terrifies me. Because I feel like if I did, I would never stay in a hotel ever again for the rest of my life. But, you know, some people like bring their own pillows. Some people, you know, put their own tops on the pillows and whatnot, you know, their own covers. And And I get that. I really do get that. But now my dad knows, like, where he was walking, some nasty was happening. Like, it could be like right behind my dad's truck. And that's where it happened. So my dad has a right to, I have a right to know that, like this is where it all went down. Because someday that cat's going to bring the other cat over there with their kittens, and they're going to say, Mommy and Daddy made you right here at the Tortora residency because this man was nice enough to not come outside every time we tripped his light. And my thing is, like, they kind of wanted to get caught. So not only are these cats nasty, these cats wanted to get caught because they went into the light. The cats could have gone anywhere in my dad's backyard. They could have gone anywhere in the front yard, but they went to the one place where they could trip the light. It's almost like, yeah, Ralph, we're going to do it right here. What are you going to do about it? It was like they enjoyed it. Almost like they wanted a voyeur, which is why they brought the other cat along, apparently and allegedly. But, it's just, but Greg liked that I said, the other cat says, come on over, bring a friend. But it's true. You know what I mean? It's like, why would you have the third cat there? Here's Sheila and Stacy. Or not, okay, let me figure this out. So, these cats are doing their thing, as cats do, making kittens. So let's call the cats, and this just random names I'm picking, so nobody get offended. Maybe some of you will like it. Don't tell me, because that's going to weird me out. So let's call the first cat Phil, and let's call the other cat Suzanne. So Phil and Suzanne want to get freaky, and my dad's residency is the freakiest spot in town that they could find, right? They just like the mood lighting and all that stuff. They like the danger of almost getting caught by the floodlight. So here's Phil and Suzanne, two cats, armed and dangerous. And so they're ready to go. They pop over to Ralph's spot, and right before Phil and Suzanne decide to go over, they say, hey, is your friend Bill available? Why? I don't know. Just wanted to know maybe if you want a night out if he was sitting at home doing nothing. So here go Phil and Suzanne, who are already going to be nasty no matter what. They were already going to, wow, wow, wow. And, so they're already going to do what they need to do. But Phil and Suzanne were like, let's have Bill come. So now Bill's like, why am I here? What am I doing? And that's what I said to my dad. Did Bill have his camera out? Was Bill like, ooh, where them angles at? You know what I mean? What was Bill doing? Because the thing is, if he tells me on that camera that Phil and Suzanne are rocking to their own beat, right? And they're over here doing their thing, and Bill was licking himself, now we have a problem. Now I have a real problem, Now it's really the annoying moment of the week. But it's strange. So I got my annoying moment is, why do the cats get to have fun and I'm not doing it? Number 2, why are the cats doing it on my dad's property? Number 3, why are they doing it in the light where they can get caught? Like, they like it. They're like, if we do it right here, there's a chance that Ralph could see us. And my dad did see him. He goes on his computer because he has this cat action, right? So does that mean that my dad has to, like, delete those files? And the funniest thing in the world is, like, what if somebody came in and just, like, opened up my dad's computer and was like, hey, Ralph, can I check my email? My computer home's not working. And then, like, my dad's like, sure, whatever. And my dad forgets. And then, like, they turn the computer on and it was on, like, sleep mode. And, like, when they pop it on, there's the video of the two cats doing it. And then they start thinking, like, Ralph, what's your deal? So, like, you know what I mean? But, what I'm saying is, you take a risk when you have a video like that. So I think my dad is like, stop talking about this. But you know what I mean? But we got to talk about it. It's funny. So, I tell people, like, is it funny? Is it not funny? It's funny. So, but this is what my dad saw, and bless his heart, now he's got this on his hands. So now the question is, does my dad try to stop it, or does he just let these cats have fun, right? The pandemic was a long time. Maybe they were separated, but I still don't get Bill's place in all this. I don't get what Bill is doing. If Bill is not filming it and, Bill is not involved, why is Bill there? Or is Bill the lookout? Maybe Bill's the lookout, right? Phil's like, me and Suzanne only come over to the Tortora residency when we got to rock out, okay? Because this is prime real estate. So we're going to come over here. We're going to do our thing in the penthouse of driveways. And as we're doing this, we need you to make sure that the owner does not come outside. So maybe Bill's the lookout. So my dad should really like start tracking Bill and see like what Bill does. Does Bill pace back and forth? Does Bill ever look up at the camera? Because that would prove my point that Bill is the lookout. So that's my annoying moment of the week. I hope you enjoyed it. Proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. And yeah, I mean, all I can say is good for them, right? Good for Phil and Suzanne. 2 cats just enjoying their cat lives, right? And I'm happy for them, right? For Phil, I really hope Suzanne doesn't turn out to be crazy, because normally in my situation, that's what it is, right? You get some romance, you get some love, you get some fun, and then you find out that Suzanne's out of her mind. So hopefully, my dad doesn't see, Phil and Bill come, a couple weeks from now with no Suzanne, and they just come over to the spot, and Phil's kind of wiping his eyes, crying, like, what happened to her, why she's so crazy, and then they both pop open some Guinnesses, and they just drink them, sitting there, and then at that point, they kind of, like, beckon my dad to come outside. They brought him a Guinness. I don't know how the cats did it. They don't have thumbs, but they bring it out to my dad, and they just let it sit there, and maybe they can hang out. So, what did Greg say? DT, gotta think like a cat. Well, it's late. I got some trashy snacks back at my place, and most importantly, I got cameras. So, listen, cats are nasty. And this is a proven point. So I want people to know this. When you're like, oh, I let my cat out, and they always know how to make it home, and they just go on adventures, they probably chase some mice, and they probably just, run around the neighborhood and get like a lay of the land. No, your cat's nasty. Okay, your cats, when you let them out of the house, are coming to my dad's house to get some nookie on and have some voyeurs and some lookouts. That's what they're doing. That's what your nasty cat is doing right now. It's coming over to my dad's house. So when Jinxie, their name is not Jinxie, it's Phil, and Phil is nasty, okay? Phil's got a crazy thought process of how things go. He's got big imagination, But it's funny to me because people are, oh, my cat, I let them out. They come home 3 days later and everything's great. And you have no idea what your cat's doing. Now we know what cats are doing. When you let your cat out of the house and you think they're roaming around, maybe touching a hepatitis needle or two. Now, your cat is coming to my dad's house for their XXX cat endeavors and adventures. Okay? So with all due respect, if you have kittens, you owe my dad some royalty money because those kittens were made at his hotel, a.k.a. the front lawn, a.k.a. the pavement of the driveway. You're welcome, and that's what your cat's doing because your cat's nasty. You know what I mean? Because I always wondered that. Like, what do cats do when you just open the door and they show up 3 days later? Now I know. So... And is it weird for me that now I kind of want to go to my dad's house and I want to like stake it out and I want to watch it and see it happen in action and then I want to break it up? You know what I mean? Break it up, And then people are like, why would you block the cats, dude? You wouldn't want somebody to do that to you. No, I wouldn't. But I'm single right now. So it could be fun. So that being said, we'll take a step aside for a fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You didn't think that was coming on the annoying moment of the week, did you? So with that being said, we'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back on Wake Up Call right after this, where sports meets life. This has been the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like, and you need to get yourself some Carvel today, because it is unlike any other. My favorite. I mean, to me, there's no substitute. Get out to Carvel today and get all their favorites, including the Wake Up Call Sunday. And we'll be back right after this inside the Cafe Kubal Studios with Lead, focusing on the topic, you are the reflection of your actions. Did you hear me, Phil, Suzanne, Bill, the cats in my dad's front lawn, hanging out? You are the reflection of your actions. Remember that. We'll take a step aside. We'll be back right after this.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with you where sports meets life. And we are always happy to be here with Cafe Kubal, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York, as well as on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners. So you could find them there in North Syracuse and on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, in their giant behemoth of a brown straight building and their double-decker cafe. Can't miss it. I call it the Welcome Center of Manlius because it's right where you come in to Manlius. You can see them there. Amy, appreciate that you appreciate it. Good morning to Mom and to everybody out there. So, and listen, the annoying moment of the week wasn't inappropriate. The cats were inappropriate. That's the reality. I'm just the messenger. Don't kill it. So, with that being said, we're going to get into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver inside of monpazpopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. It's time to get to the second signature segment we bring you every single Friday. Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver is what the acronym stands for. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Today's topic, you are the reflection of your actions. So, now, it seems pretty self-explanatory, right? You are the reflection of the things that you do. However, people, if they really thought about this, I don't think they'd be committing the actions that they were committing. What did Amy say? That's why my cat doesn't go outside. Yeah, and Amy, I want you to understand something. Cats are nasty, okay? I thought that dating was nasty, okay? I thought dating in today's world, human beings, I thought that was nasty because there's some people with some, there's a lot of crazy out there, right? What I found out is that the cats are just as nasty, okay? Because no girl has ever said to me, yo, late at night, there's this guy who's got a motion sensor light. Let's go to the driveway and try to get caught on the motion sensor. And let's bring your friend along to hang out and watch. That's never happened. And I'm not saying that hasn't happened to somebody else, but it's a hard pass no. And I would hope that my friends, like, I would never ask you to come with me and be a part of that. And I would hope you would say no if I did ask you, but I wouldn't. Okay? There's a friend that's like, yeah, I'm down. What? Stop. Don't do that. It's scary. But listen, cats are freaks. We learned that this morning on Wake Up Call. So with that being said, oh man. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You are the reflection of your actions. You are. You are the reflection of the things that you do. And, of your actions. Because listen, I'm going to say, well, Dan, aren't you the reflection of your words as well? Now, some people lie, right? But actions speak louder. And, put it to you like this. Most people are not going to tell you they're a bad person. Unless they're being like sarcastic, right? Oh, yeah, I'm a bad person. People are not typically going to tell you that they're a bad person. They're going to tell you they're a good person, right? Because most people want you to believe that they're good. They want to believe that they're good. And so when you're in a situation where, somebody's telling you, I'm a good person, I'm a good person, I'm a good person, actions always speak louder than words. And you are the reflection of your actions. How you treat people, that's who you are. Okay, folks, that is who you are, right? And that's why you have to be very cognizant of your actions, because they speak volumes about who you are, right? How you treat others, how you treat nature, how you treat your dog, how you treat your cat, how you treat your husband, your wife, your friends, total strangers. It's a reflection of who you really are. And, it could be a reflection of your pain, right? Like you could say, Dan, I'm a really nice person. Amy said your cat wasn't part of it. Amy, I hope not. I hope your cat wasn't Bill. Because, in my story, there's Phil and Suzanne and Bill. Bill is the one that's the look. I'm going to call Bill the lookout, because thinking of Bill as a voyeur makes me sad for Bill. So, I hope that your cat was none of them. We could go back and check the tape and make sure, but I don't know if you want to see it. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody wants to see it. Besides me, I want to see it. I want to see it, but I don't want to see it, because it's going to just prove to me that there's just so much nasty going on in the world. But, cats at this point, they're like, whatever. These humans have had COVID and all this stuff. They've been through a lot. Let's bring more. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you bringing more to the table, dudes? Like, we've been through enough. We have seen enough, right? And now, here you are bringing your problems. You're nasty on us. Not even your problems, just bringing your whatever it is that you do, you're bringing it, okay? You're bringing it. So all I can say is sometimes I guess cats are having more fun than I'm having. I don't know. That's sad. But the reality of it all is you are the reflection of your actions, right? The person that people perceive you to be is based on how you act, right? And that's why they say, you don't just go out there and take things out on people and treat people like garbage, because you never know. I mean, that could be the only time you meet somebody. That could be their only interaction with you ever, right? And so they only know you to be that person at that moment, at that time in your life. They don't know that you just went through a breakup. They don't know that somebody passed away. They don't know that you just lost your job. They only know who you are in that moment. And, being the reflection of our actions, I would just hope that it compels people to do better, to be better, because, I've seen that. I've listened, I talk about and I joke about my relationships here on the show, but I've dated, people that, I said this to the last person that told me they love me, right? Well, I love you. I said, well, you don't show it, right? You don't show it. The way you treat me, you don't show it. And I don't know how somebody can cheat on you and then say, well, I love you. No, I don't know. That I actually would know the complete opposite based on your actions. And, and my reaction to her was, do you know how many women have told me they love me? Where are they? And that to me is a humble truth. Anybody could say, I love you. Anybody could say I'm a good person, but it's being the reflection of your actions, right? You pay attention to people's actions, because I've tried to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I watch their actions, and then I say, okay, that was negative, that was bad, that was something I wouldn't do. And as they go on, I look back at it now, and I'm like, wow, their swan song, their last action was lethal like all the rest of them. Because what you start to realize in patterns in people, because it's not that people don't make mistakes, but when there are patterns of bad action, that's who you are. That's who you are. And if it's not who you want to be, well, then you have to change it. But in that moment, that's who you are. Right? So, if you don't want to be late and people think that you're a late person because you're late all the time, then what you have to do is be focused on not doing that. Right? Because you can say I'm sorry a million times, and you could say, I have a problem being late. And you could say a million times, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, da 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 da. But after a while, people are like, that's who you are. Right? It's your actions. That's who you are. And if you don't want it to be who you are, then you have to change it. Right? You can't just sit there and go, well, I'm late all the time, but I don't like that people think I'm a late person. Well, people don't think you're a late person. They know you're a late person because you're late all the time. And you have to be willing to change those things if you want to change those things, or accept the fact that you're going to constantly let people down. And that is a tough thing to stomach, but if you don't want to stomach it, then don't do it, right? I don't like being late, and I'm typically always I'm always doing something until the last minute and then leave it. And so I don't like being late, but I am late, but I don't like it, right? I don't like letting people down. I don't like being behind. I don't like the anxiety of it. I don't like any of that. So how do you change it, right? You say to yourself, okay, if I have to be somewhere at 11, instead of leaving at 10:30, because it's really going to be 10:40 by the time I remember everything and this and that, say you're leaving at 10, and maybe you leave by 10:20, right? But I'm still early. So I think you just have to be willing to make sacrifices, right? And understand that if you are the reflection of your actions, which you are, I know some people don't want to admit it, but you are. When you are the reflection on you to make a decision on those actions, right? Because you can tell me, oh, they made me do it, oh, she made me do, oh, they pushed, I got caught up. I love when people do something really not good, and they say, well, I just got caught up. I just got caught up in it. And my response to them is, what, did you walk into a spider web? Did you walk into a spider? Because when you say you got caught up in it, you're taking all of the blame off of yourself. Oh, I just got caught up, I was in it and I couldn't get out. Yeah, you could get out of it. You didn't have to go in it. Right? And when you look back on things, you're just you kind of look at yourself like, why did I let somebody give me that excuse? And I said, okay, that's fine. You didn't mean it. No, you meant it. You meant it. If you did something, you meant to do it. If you did it repeatedly, right? You can make mistakes, but what do they say? The first time is a mistake. The second time is a habit. The third time is who they are. So if somebody does something the first time and they say, oh man, it was a mistake, I'm sorry. Okay. You do it a second time, you're like, okay, well, there's a pattern. That's what it is, pattern. And the third time, it's who you are. In my case, with a girl that I dated, she did something over a series of months, multiple times. And so it was who she was. It was who she had chosen to be. And for whatever reason, I don't care what the reason was, it was a bad thing. And it was something you don't do to people. And that I wouldn't do to a human being. But it was done to me. And you try to give people credit. And you try to help out people. And you try to, believe that people can change and people can, adjust and do different things. But the reality of it all is some people are who they are. And their actions are telling you who they are. And you might not want to listen to those actions. You might not want to believe those actions. But whether you want to listen to them, believe them or not, that is who they are. You are a reflection of the things that you do. And if you don't want people to perceive you as something, then you need to stop doing that action that's making people think that. There's people tell me I'm not dramatic, and then every time I'm with them, they just talk about drama. They talk about this person and this person and this person and this person. And by the time you're done, I'm exhausted. You know, I remember being around a friend of a friend, and I said to my friend, I was like, how do you stomach this person for 5 minutes? Like, with all due respect, I hope their life gets better, but oh my Lord, like, they're complaining about everything under the sun, and 5 minutes into being around them, I'm like, I don't want to be around them anymore. Like, I'm not here to be negative, and I'm not here to focus on negativity. I don't want to be around it. You know, I don't surround myself with drama. And, you know, some people have tried to make me feel bad about this, but you are the reflection of your actions. So when people are dramatic continuously, I cut them out of my life. And I had somebody say to me, oh, well, you know, like, that's bad. You know, like, basically, like, you shouldn't do that. And I was like, why shouldn't I do that? When I'm around them, I feel unhealthy. And if they don't stop, it's like, why would I stay unhealthy, right? So you got to, you know, there's unhealthy things that you shouldn't do. And one of those things is to be around people that when they are a reflection of their actions, that reflection in the mirror is not good, right? Some people could be the most beautiful people on the planet, most handsome people on the planet. But when they look in the mirror, they are a shriveled up raisin because they are a reflection of their actions. You can look good. Everybody can look good. You know, I tell people that all the time. There are beautiful people all over the planet, but how many of them have beautiful souls? How many of them are good people? We've all met someone who's pretty or handsome that's not a nice person. It's selfish or egotistical. We've all met those people. So the facade, anybody can put a facade up. And I've learned that even the craziest of people can put on a show for a day, a month, a year. Everyone can be a good actor or actress at times. But you will always end up being a reflection of the things that you do and how you treat people. And I'll give you an example. So, I know somebody who, you know, it's like everybody likes them. Oh my God, they're everybody's friend, blah, 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 blah. And they do things, and you say, well, Dan, how do you know that they do these things? Because they've told me. So, and it's things you shouldn't be proud of doing. And so they're the reflection of their actions. Where they are in their life today, no matter how many people have liked them and how great they are and how everybody would get them a job and everybody would fly them out here and do this, that, and whatever, at the end of the day, they're the same person today that I met 20 years ago that looks like they've been stuck in mud. And it's because they're a reflection of their actions. They're habitually doing the same things, putting the same negativity out there, not growing, not blossoming, not evolving, not getting better. And it's a reflection in their life. You are the reflection of the actions you take. I have dated many different women from many different walks of life, different nationalities, different color, different, you know, heights, different look, you know, long hair, short hair, dark hair, whatever. I've dated all different types of women. But what I realized is that most of the women I was dating women who I was allowing to abuse me, verbally, physically, both, because of abuse that I had taken and allowed in my life in other areas. So I thought I deserved it. And I was keeping them in my life because I didn't want to hurt people and I didn't want to be alone. So what I was really fighting was not wanting to be alone, and I was fighting the fact that I had allowed abuse in my life, and that a part of me almost felt like I deserved it, right? That I was a glutton for punishment. And so I became a reflection of my actions. I was constantly unhappy, sad, anxious, because I was dating people that were treating me the same way. They were all different women, but they were all selfish in their own way, and that selfishness would eat away at the fabric of the relationship. And I eventually saw that I was a reflection of, you're allowing the same type of person in your life. They might look different, but they're the same. Did you ever have a bag of candy? Right? Remember Runts? I think they're still out. Runts. They were little candy pieces, hard candy, and you bite into them and they taste like the fruit that they look like. You have apple, you have strawberry, you have banana, orange, lemon. So the people that I dated were like all of the different candies, right? They look different, but they all came from the same bag, right? They came from the same place, that place of selfishness. So I, in order to break the cycle, had to learn you're allowing people, and you're dating women that are a reflection of what you think you deserve, and you're dating people who are selfish, and you're not. So it's like you're dating people that are the same type of person. You're dating a selfish person. You're dating a person who constantly makes you feel bad for who you are. You won't leave them, and you always want to make it work. So I became a reflection of myself. I was a reflection of my fears. My actions were taken out of fear. I didn't want to be alone, so I tried to make it work with people that were not healthy. I thought I deserved pain, and I thought I deserved what I got because I was taking it from other people, or I was taught that from other people. So I was ingesting it in relationships because I was taught that guilt is why you do things. When you feel bad, that's why you do things. So these things that I had learned growing up that were not right and not good, they were reflecting in my relationship. You know? Oh, I got a family member hangs up on the phone with me all the time. Well, all the girls I dated hung up on me and I would always call them back. Why is that? Well, because then I always called it back that family member. Right? So there were things that had happened. My family had a lot of guilt growing up. They put a lot of guilt on you. And, you know, and I'm not talking about like my mom and dad. I have great parents. I'm talking about people within our family that relied on guilt. They made you do things because of guilt. And they would constantly feed that to you as a child. So I started to see that in my relationships, right? Like I would either use it, right? Try to make somebody feel guilt. When somebody didn't want to like support me at a show, I'd be like, oh, well, I thought you cared about me. Say things like that. And then I also realized that I was reacting to guilt. And I was doing things when people would make me feel bad. I'd just do it, right? Or I would stay with them because I would go to leave and then they'd look all depressed. And it's like, well, this isn't a healthy relationship, but now I feel bad for them. So you become the reflection of your actions. My actions to stay, my actions of what I allowed, my actions of what I made okay in my life or said was okay that wasn't okay, reflected, right? I became the reflection of my actions. Allowing abuse made me unhealthy. And when you come to a point in your life where you keep going through the same pattern, you have to learn from that pattern, or else you're going to be stuck in it. You know, for my Marvel fans, it's like Doctor Strange. Dormammu kept killing Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange kept coming back because he kept using the time stone. So he said, you think I'm your prisoner, you're my prisoner. Because you could kill me all these ways, but I'm going to keep coming back because I have the time stone. So no matter what, you're going to have to kill me for eternity. It's going to get exhausting. And now I have you as my prisoner because no matter what you do, you're going to have to keep seeing me, and it's going to be like Groundhog Day, right? So that's how I look at life as a parallel, is if you refuse to learn from something, you're going to be trapped in Groundhog Day. Because I am a firm believer in God, and I am a firm believer that God makes you go through the same thing over and over and over again until you learn from it. Because you have to learn the lesson, and you have to pass the test. So I think why I am single right now, and why the well is dry, is because God has taught me things along the way that I've learned and unlearned, or learned and not implemented, and there's some things I haven't learned yet. And I think that He wants me to learn all of these things so that if and when something did arise, I'm not going through the same pattern, making the same mistakes, doing the same things. Because you have to learn from your actions, or you will reflect them all the time. You know, like I look back on things and say to myself, like, you know, this action always created like this scenario, right? Because I mean, listen, I'm an open book, and so I would always get paranoid that somebody was going to cheat, right? So my paranoia would cause me to question. My questions would frustrate people, and I would typically see an end to the relationship off of that annoyance of constant questioning. I became the reflection of my actions. My actions were paranoid, and the reflection that I became was I became paranoid. I became, I didn't want to be alone, so I became alone by constantly saying I didn't want to be, right? So they say that, like, you become the energy that you give. So if you're a negative person, you become negative. If you're a worrywart, then that worry, it kind of like you get what you ask for, so to speak. And so some people out there would say, well, Dan, I'm asking for love. I'm asking for kindness. I'm asking for, equality. Why am I not getting it? Well, you could be looking in the wrong places. And at the same time, you could think that you're not getting it because you're focusing on like the romantic, but maybe you're getting it from your friends. Maybe you're getting it from your boss, right? Like people seek fulfillment. That's what we do, right? We seek fulfillment in the things that we do, in the relationships that we have. Not every relationship is fulfilling, but the ones that are, you kind of like push them off to the side. Like, this friend's always there for me, right? They're always there for me. They always love me. They're always by my side. But the girl I'm dating, she's not, right? The guy I'm dating, he's not there by my side. They're not there for me. They don't care about me. They're not listening to me. But your friend is. So where does that come into play? To God, you're saying, I don't have the things that I want. And God's going, yeah, you do. You don't have it from that place, but you have it from all the other places. Right? And I think a lot of times we don't focus on that. That's me. That's all of us. We focus on the one friend that didn't show up to our birthday party and didn't call and didn't say anything, but we don't think about the 15 friends that did show up, that stayed there for hours, that laughed and joked with us, that bought us gifts that show that they really honestly know who we are, right? They didn't just like buy you something ridiculous. Like they got you something that shows like they listen to you and they care about you and they know who you are. So, to me, I think in life, one of the greatest tests is, do you not have what you want? Or do you have what you want? You just don't have a relationship. But I have fulfillment in my dreams. I have fulfillment in my job. I have fulfillment in my little daughter, Lily. I have fulfillment in having parents that are alive and love me and want to spend time with me and talk to me every day. Not in an overbearing sense, but because they want to be a part of my life. So, when I look at things and I say, do I have good friends? Yeah. Do I have great friends? Yeah. Do I have people that put their money where their mouth is? Yeah. Do I have a dog that is my daughter and I treat her like my kid because she is my kid and she's a beautiful representation of love? Yeah. Do I have a house that I love to come home to? Yeah. Do I have a lot of convenient things in my life? Like I went to an event yesterday and it's like just like experiencing it the way I was driving home just appreciating so many little things that I never think about when I'm going out and doing stuff. And I'm like, I have a life that I find fulfillment in every area except for the romantic relationship. So maybe what God was trying to do this whole time was saying, Dan, before I give you that other thing, I want to make sure you appreciate all of the things, right? I want to make sure that your friends are appreciated, your family is appreciated, your dog is appreciated, you are appreciated, your time, your sleep, I want to make sure that all the gifts I've given you, before I give you another one, I want you to show me that you actually value and are thankful and grateful of what I've done for you. Because if you're not grateful for all these things I've done, why would I do something else? Okay? You need to learn. Because God, to me is a parent. And what type of parent are we if our kids don't appreciate anything we do for them, so we just keep doing and doing, and they keep taking and taking. Say, hey, not every kid has this, right? Not every kid gets driven to school. Not every kid gets new clothes. Not every play their sports. Not every kid has a parent that shows up to all of those. Not every kid has somebody who they can come home to that's going to help them with their homework. Not every kid has a loving parent who's going to hug you and kiss you and tuck you into bed. Not every kid has a parent who's going to put hot food on the table. Not every kid has a parent who has the money to do that. So before I buy you that bike, can you thank me? Can you appreciate the fact that I cook you hot meals and I tuck you into bed and I do your homework and I with you and I help you and I guide you and I'm with and I show up to stuff and I drop you off at school and you got a nice new book bag and all your friends like it. But, I hear all your friends like your new Black Panther book bag, but did you ever say thanks, Mom? Did you ever say thank you, Dad? You tell me how many kids like it, but did you say thank you? And I'm not saying do things for people to get a thank you. I'm saying that, it doesn't hurt you to be thankful for what you have. We're a gluttonous society, especially in America, right? I'll never forget that they said, I don't know what it is now, it could be worse now, but it was like, America is like so, small in size compared to other places, but we use a third of the world's resources, right? Think about that. You leave food on your plate and there's other people that just want a plate with any food on it. So that's how I think. If I'm a reflection of my actions, then God could say, if you're going to continue to be ungrateful for the things that you have, I'm not going to give you this other thing until you can show me you're grateful, until you can show me that you appreciate it, until you can show me that you wake up every day and say, thank you, God, for my friends and for my family and for my health and for my dog and for my house and for my career and my dreams and for things coming true. I get to live a life where I get to play all day. I get to make money chasing my dreams, catching them, and then chasing new ones. That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Actually, it's really awesome. I make a living sitting down with kids in our community and telling their story. Sitting with them in a restaurant, telling their story. I get to make a living talking with people about their life. Everybody, everybody talks, even, sign language, different language, everybody talks, right? For the most part. And I get paid to do it. That's an amazing thing. That's an awesome, awesome blessing and accomplishment. And if I looked at everything that I have in my life, there's only one thing I don't have. And that is, I always wanted to have that woman in my life, that just awesome, true love, amazing, beautiful, funny, kind, sexy, passionate, intellectual, giving, faithful woman, and then have a family with them. But look at everything that I have. You know what I mean? And I think that we all can do that, because you become a reflection of your actions. When you are ungrateful, that reflects into the person that you are, right? When you say, God, why don't I, you wake up every day, God, why don't I have this person in my life? Why don't I have this person in my life? Why don't I have this person in my life? Why don't I have this person in my life? You become consumed by it. And that's all you waste your time doing. And you see how much time you have wasted. You become a reflection of your actions. And every one of you can name somebody this morning that's become a reflection of their actions in your life. And some people, it's you. Good, bad, and indifferent. I mean, this is a good thing too. You are the reflection of your actions. If you do good things in the world, you are a reflection of that, right? Good comes back to good. So when you know that what you put out there is going to come back, it's going to reflect, right? That's who people know you to be. There's a lot of rich people, but how those rich people act and what they do in life is a reflection of people either believe in the stereotype that rich people don't care about anybody, versus, wow, This person, you wouldn't even know that they're rich because they just do good things for people and they're humble and it's like they never forgot who they are. I had somebody tell me one time, when you make $1 million, you're going to change. And I said, no, I'm not. And they said, okay, well, I'll sit back and watch the day. And I said, okay, well, you could sit back for eternity. If I ever lost who I was, especially to money, which anybody that knows me knows it's not important to me. It's as important as you need money in life to do certain things. But outside of that, I don't like money at all. There is nothing about money that I like. I am grateful that I can afford things and do things, right? But there's a reason why there's no money in heaven, right? Because money is the root of all evil. And I've seen that in a lot of ways. So they said, when you make $1 million, you're going to change. And I said, no, I'm not. And they said, yeah, you are. And I said, no, I'm not. They said, why? How do you know? I said, because I know who I am. And I know that if I have $1 million, the first thought on my mind was, what am I going to pay off? What am I going to give to? Like, what am I going to do with it? You know what I mean? I'm not the type of person to say, I'm going to go buy 5 cars, right? I might buy 1 car, but I'm also going to be fiscally responsible about that car that I buy. You know, well, what are you going to do when you make $1 million, Dan? I'm probably going to continue to help people. That's me, right? You know, I am going to continue to help people. If I made $1 million, it wouldn't just be for me. It would be for Lily. It would be for my parents. It would be for cancer research, you know, finding cures. That's where my money, that's where my focus would be. If I have kids, it would be college tuition. You know, I want to be able to tell my kids what I heard Fluffy, the comedian Gabriel Iglesias, he said, he's like, I told my son, if he gets, all he has to do is get accepted. If he gets accepted to a college, I will pay for it. Wherever he gets accepted, wherever he wants to go, however much it costs, I'll pay for it. All he's got to do is do the work and I'll cover it. Right? He does the work, I'll pay for it. Go to school, live your life, have fun, daddy's got you. I want to be able to do that. And I will. I will be able to do that. So, you know, when you are a good person and you do good things and you are a reflection of your actions, you like to look in the mirror. When your actions are poor and when they are the opposite of what you'd want somebody to do to you, you do not want to look in the mirror. But that is the time that you have to look in the mirror the most. Because sometimes seeing that shriveled up raisin in the mirror is the only time that you're actually going to realize, I'm not a grape. I used to be, but I'm not. And if I ever want to be a grape again, I need to do some work to unravel this raisin. If you want something out of life, you got to put the work in. That is the only way. We'll take a step aside for a fast break here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. Ross will be coming up in just a little bit in a segment called Arson and Coke, our little play on some typos that happen. And again, you know, I'm going to say this for the last time because I don't want to be a broken record. And I know that, like, because people get so touchy, I am not making fun of people. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has typos. I've had typos. Okay? We're not making fun of the person that typoed Arson and Coke. We're taking that unfortunate moment that he got made fun of for, and we're turning it into something funny. Something positive was born out of something that people saw as negative. Look at this idiot. He can't spell these right. Well, now there is an Arson and Coke. So, Ross and I are excited to bring that to you in just a few minutes here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We'll take a quick step aside. When we come back, we'll have the top dog of the week. Thank, once again, the wonderful team led by Jim Sikowski at Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver, and everything they do in the community. You are the reflection of your actions, and people like Jim Sikowski can be proud of that reality because he is a reflection of his actions. He is a good person who does good things, and that reflects in the amazing person that he has become, and one of my best and closest friends that I am better for having in my life. We'll take a step aside for a fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we'll be back in the Cafe Kubal studios with the top dog of the week right after this.
There are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand butter chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with you where sports truly meets that thing called life. And we appreciate you being here with us on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com, all / Wake Up Call DT, as well as on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and on Facebook.com / Live Now DT. Inside of these Cafe Kubal studios, keeping you warm and filling your cup up right. So make sure you head out to Cafe Kubal today, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, as well as on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse, and in their drive-thru, and on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. Inside of these Cafe Kubal studios, we are decked out with a bunch of stuff that comes from the awesome Witty Wicks 315 Home Sweet Home signs, as well as our Cuse pillows, the Cuse Home Sweet Home, the 315, with a new dome in it. And, of course, some really awesome hangable pieces here that we have. We have the upside down light that's right by Coleman's here by our zoo in Syracuse, New York, where this is an actual light where the green is on top, red on the bottom. You can buy this and put this in the house. You can also buy hats that have this on it, which is pretty cool. We have the upstate New York here with Syracuse right in the middle here of upstate. So you could come and get this upstate and remind people that there's more to New York. That's not this little tiny thing right here, but that there is an entire state in upstate New York, which we love so very much. And of course, upstate New York 315. This logo you can buy on different pieces to hang in the house. You can also buy this on hats and shirts and long sleeve shirts. So make sure that you come out and support upstate in central New York, the 315, by going to Witty Wicks and getting some really awesome locally made products, as well as products that support our local community. And there's Witty Wicks right over my shoulder right now. Perfect timing here on 190 Township Boulevard in Camillus, New York, in front of Movie Tavern. So with that being said, Ross is coming up in just a second, but not before we do the top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. My top dog of the week this week are the cats from the... No, I'm kidding. So, could you imagine? My top dog is Bill for being the lookout, bruh. No, my top dog of the week... my top dog of the week this week, folks, is Brianna Stewart. I am so proud of Brianna Stewart, and, you know, some people say, why haven't you had her on the show yet? Folks, it's because I haven't had the opportunity. I've tried. I want to. I know some people that know her. I'm working on it, and I'm sure she gets a lot of stuff all the time, but I would love to talk to Brianna Stewart. I am so proud and so happy for her and all the work that she has done. I am ecstatic that she's playing for the New York Liberty, which means that I get to see her. It's a 44-minute plane ride to New York City, so very excited for the opportunity to go and see Brianna Stewart. I am so proud of the work that she did at CNS and in our community and at UConn and with the Seattle Storm and now with the New York Liberty. It is a sign and a true testament that people from Central and Upstate New York are incredible. Our community is resilient. And, I mean, think about it. Arguably the greatest women's basketball player in the world right now came from my community, our community, her community. How cool is that? So, you know, Central and Upstate New York has a gem in Brianna Stewart, and I just want to celebrate her. So happy signing with the New York Liberty. And thank you for overcoming your adversity, Brianna. Thank you for never giving up. For, you know, everybody goes through tough times. You've navigated it well. And some of the things she's been through, if she never said it, you wouldn't even have known. So, you know, very proud of your strength, your resiliency, your belief in yourself, the chasing of your dreams. And I can't wait to see what you're going to continue to do, and I am so very proud of you. I hope I get to talk to you sometime soon. I remember coming back into Syracuse, and you were playing at CNS, where my cousin Sammy played, and Fran, and I think that Brianna played with Sammy for 1 year basketball, and, you know, here's Brianna Stewart, and she's at CNS, and now she's, like, large. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, I remember going to the Dome and seeing her play in a tournament, and now, you know, she's known all over the world. So Brianna Stewart is our top dog of the week. I look forward to interviewing you. I pray and I hope that that door will open. I will walk through it proudly because I wanted to do this interview. This thing is like almost 10 years in the making, if not more. So, Brianna, congratulations. Thank you for what you're doing for your career, your dreams. You're showing men and women all over the world that you can achieve greatness, you can achieve your dreams, you can overcome anything, and you can get there. And once you get there, you can keep going. every time she writes a chapter, you're like, wow, if she stopped here, that'd be pretty awesome of a book. And then she just writes another chapter, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's more. She's so young, and she's done so much. So believe in your dreams. Believe you can. Don't let anything hold you back or anyone hold you back. May Brianna Stewart not only be the top dog of the week for you this week, but may she be a consistent reflection of the reality that when you want something and you believe in yourself, you can get it. You can do it. I believe a faith in God can get you anywhere. Hard work, dedication, determination, and God by your side. So, and whether or not you believe God's there, God's there. So I appreciate Brianna's story, and I'm happy for her. So she's our top dog of the week because it is so easy to celebrate somebody who has done so many great things and continues to, and I've never heard a bad word about her. So, and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding of East Syracuse. And get in touch with the Daycare by calling 315-437-7110. And you can call the Kampground Dog Boarding by calling 315-299-4013. They're both in East Syracuse, right off of Bridge Street, across from BJ's. So make sure you head out there today and let them know that Wake Up Call sent you. With that being said, it is time for an all-new edition of Arson Coke. And with all the medicine I've been on, finally when the doctor decided to treat me after 2 did not, I know what it is to take a bunch of different prescriptions. Well, I could tell you that your prescription for this week is Arson and Coke. And we'll be back right after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. I get to unleash one of my favorite human beings right after this. And I do want to make note of here. Greg said Stephanie Dolson went to my high school, Minnesink Valley, currently playing for the Liberty also, former 4-time national champion and Olympic gold medalist. Well, shout out to that. Stephanie Dolson, Brianna Stewart, coming right here from our community. Katie Kalinsky, who was just on the show, doing awesome things as a coach, coming from our community. A lot of fantastic people have come from Central and Upstate New York. Why do you think I love it so much? Because we have some really good, blue-collar, hardworking, amazing people. Generations of good people. So I'm looking forward to celebrating you all. And I'm happy that we got to do it last night with a bunch of the student athletes from the girls and boys bowling teams from Liverpool High School with the Warriors at Avocolis. It means a lot to me to celebrate you. And I'm thankful that you let me tell your stories. So we'll continue to do that right after this, as your best prescription comes from Arson and Coke. You might want to check the label. It's coming up right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets life. Avocolis, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avocolis through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avocolis today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavocolis.com. That's myAVICOLLIS.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury.
Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. This is a special message from 317 at Montgomery restaurant owner Joel Carpenter. Open Tuesday through Saturday for your dining pleasure on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York.
We wanted to be a part of the resurgence of Syracuse. We saw a lot of money being put into bringing people back downtown and thought that, we'd like to be a part of that. I love putting together a good dish where people see it first, they fall in love with it, and then it tastes just as good as it looks. We want to provide the best food in Syracuse that we possibly can, and we want you to leave here talking to your family, your friends about what you had to eat first and foremost, but also our service, and to walk out feeling like you're part of our family. I work out in the front of the house a lot, and I love walking to every single table, asking them how everything is, and people looking at me and smiling and saying, this is the most amazing short rib I've ever had. This is the most amazing filet I've ever had. And Donna is great. Sarah's amazing. Thank you for coming over and talking to us. And then them just being truly happy for the experience that they've gotten.
317 at Montgomery Restaurant, part of the fabric of downtown Syracuse, located on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday for a unique and memorable dining experience.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, hanging out with you where sports truly meets that thing called life. Always appreciate having you here on the show, and thank you so much for tuning in every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We are at our final portion of today's broadcast, and I want to say first and foremost, beyond everything, that I am thankful to God that last week I felt awful and I had no answers. And this week I was able to do an entire week of shows. I can't believe it's Friday already. My voice has gotten through it. I felt better these last few days. And so even though I'm on the mend, I continue to feel better. And I want to thank God for that. So I definitely appreciate the fact that I'm just here this morning, chasing my dreams, living my life, and that I feel healthy enough to do it. So thank you for joining me on this journey. With that being said, speaking of medicine and getting better, I told you your best prescription for your morning is Arson and Coke, but you might want to check the label. So Arson and Coke are here for you this morning. It is the moniker that Ross Turetsky and myself, Dan Tortora, have taken. We did it a play on words from something that just so happened. It was like the universe wanted us to have these names. And we were talking about it one day, and then I said to Ross, and it was on the show live, you go back, check the tape, I said, you know what, I feel like Arson and Coke is a good name. And then I just decided I was Coke, Ross is Arson. So on today's broadcast of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, to finish off today's show, I have so many dirty jokes, Ross, and I just stopped myself from telling one of them. But Arson and Coke is here for you. So I hand it off to Arson. How you doing today?
Is that good for you? Did I ignite the spark? Is that what you're looking for from Arson?
Yeah. Doctor. She said she was part of the care team, which I think is like saying that like you're one of the Care Bears, but the one that like nobody knows and they don't really sell, right? It's like the Care Bear that you can't understand what's on the stomach, but you think you know. So she's like, I'm part of the care team. She refused to help me, did nothing for me. I go see a specialist in ear, nose, and throat, and he goes, I can't find anything wrong with you. And I'm like, really? Because I have like red marks all over my throat. Like, there's obviously something going on here, and I don't feel good. And he did nothing. He's like, well, if you want, there's another guy that works in my office, and he focuses just on the throat. So if you're saying...
You realize every time they send you a different specialist or even a different doctor who goes into your room, that's another bill, buddy. I know you might have decent health insurance, but I've seen that even when our kids were born. A doctor would come in for 2 seconds, say, hi, how you doing? And they'd leave the room, and they would send us a bill about a month later and charge top dollar for a 2-second appearance. So anytime a doctor walks in the room, that's cha-ching. That's going to cost you some money. So I don't care for all these different specialists coming in my room. I need one doctor to look at me, tell me what I need. I don't want 5 doctors who are all going to charge me later on.
No, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, and that was my huge problem with this.
We have a messed up health system.
Yeah, we do. We have a horrible health system, and the thing is, all I could tell people is, if you want to know why I don't go to the doctor, this past week is why. And so, getting tossed around, nobody giving me any answers. Oh, you don't have anything wrong, but you can come see the specialist tomorrow that works in the same office. The guy looked at me, and he goes, I think you have this, and I think you have this, and I think you have this. And then I end up finally getting some medication to get better. And I kept telling the doctor, because apparently I'm a doctor now. So I told the doctor, I said, I have a sinus infection. I've had it since August. It comes and it goes. Normally, I could kick it out with 1 round of antibiotics, but for whatever reason, I've had like 4 bouts with it. This is number 4. I don't think it's leaving my body. I've had x-rays taken. They said there was still infection in there. It's like whatever it is, it's been fighting really hard to stay in my body. And he doesn't give me anything for a sinus infection. Then he says to me, well, you know what? When I called a couple days ago, I said, well, I'm still hurting. I still have like white marks and red marks in my throat. I'm still bothered by this stuff. He goes, you know what I think? I think you do have a sinus infection. And I was like, oh my gosh, eureka. So, but after...
You got to talk him into it, basically. You got to convince the doctor what you have.
Well, let me tell you what
Self-diagnose.
Let me tell you what he said to me. So I said to him, he goes, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm a broadcaster. He said, oh, what does that entail? And I said, am I getting punked? I was like, am I getting punked right now? And then he tells me, I'm a really good voice therapist, and I work with so many people on TV and radio, and like I work with so many anchors and reporters. And I was like, well, obviously that's a lie, because you just told me you didn't know what broadcasters did for a living. So, but I'm sitting here, and I remember looking at my dad, and he goes, how often do you drink? And I was like, I don't. And he goes, you don't drink alcohol? And I said, no. And he said, so how many like drinks do you have per day? And I was like, you're not going to get me to say it like I don't. And then one time he goes, do you have anxiety? I said, no. And he paused and he goes, do you have anxiety? And I was like, no. And he goes, are you sure? And I was like, what type of game is going on right now? Like, what are we playing in this?
He's doing Jedi mind tricks, buddy. He's Yoda with you. He's trying to screw with your mind.
But the thing that I found really hilarious that you'll appreciate, because this guy didn't know me at all. And by the way, all the questions he was asking me were on a sheet of paper that they told me to fill out before I came in. I filled it out, I gave it to them, and then he spent the first 20 minutes of our doctor visit refilling out the paper with his answers. And then he wrote all over the paper like he was interviewing me for 20 or 60 minutes or 48 minutes or whatever, how many minutes there are now. So he's doing all this stuff and re-asking me the questions I already know. Before I leave, he goes, there's 3 things you can't do. Because your throat and like your voice, your vocal cords and everything are affected, he goes, you can't shout, you can't scream, and you can't do character voices. And I was like, oh my gosh, he doesn't even know who I am. And that's all I heard. Because I'm not somebody who likes to shout or scream. So when he's like, you can't do character voices, and I was like, well, what am I supposed to do then?
Yeah, how about your Kim Jong-il and your Donald Trump impressions? You can't go without those for any long period of time.
And then he said, and when you're healthy, I'll train you how to do your character voices correctly.
Oh, my word. I didn't realize he became a vocal coach. I thought he was a doctor. Now he's given himself a whole new profession. It's one thing to say you treat broadcasters, you help with their voices when they're having issues and vocal voice coach. I don't know when he became that.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm going to put a camera in your nose to look at your throat. It may cause you to have a bloody nose, and it might also give you a sinus infection. And people were like, how does a camera give you a sinus infection? Like, did he not clean the camera? So then he goes down, he looks in my throat, and he said, so one of your vocal cords expands out more than the other one does, and this one seems to be like hurt. And he said it looks like you almost popped a blood vessel or something a long time ago, so you have a red mark. So when you're done with all this, I can be like a vocal therapist for you and help you, like heal your voice cords, your vocal cords and all this stuff. And I'm sitting here like, I don't know if I want you to be around me at all. Like, I just want you to give me the medication that I need and help me to get through this. And like, just do the doctor thing, right? I'm supposed to come to you. You're supposed to look at me. And then my dad goes, is it strep? And he goes, it could be, but normally I can just look at it and know that it's not. And I'm like, so I called him a couple days ago. He gave me more medication. So I'm on like 5 or 6 different things right now. And I'm pretty confident if I get hit the right way by gamma radiation, I will become the Red Hulk. I do think it's going to happen.
Well, at this point, I'm surprised you're not just delirious with all the different drugs they have you on. All that stuff in your body, you're probably drowsy as can be. I wouldn't be going on any long-distance drives because, you have a lot of stuff going on. So I hope you're feeling better. I know we were talking off air that you had that fun Disney cruise, but I'm like, cruises are fun, but I'm still convinced. I've never been on one. I've only gone like a day trip on a boat, but I'm like, those are petri dishes for tons of bacteria and germs everywhere. There are people coughing up a storm. The vid is being spread nonstop there, and it's just like, it's fun, but you have to trade it for that. You're probably gonna feel like garbage for the next 2 weeks after the cruise.
Well, and the thing is I wiped down everything, and it was funny because the first couple days of the cruise, nobody told us to wash our hands. And then because there's buffets, and then like all of a sudden,
common sense,
right?
Buddy. I think if you're over 5 years old, you know to wash your hands.
No, but watch. So when you got off the elevator, there were like hand washing stations, and nobody told us to use them. And then like day 3, there's a person standing there going, wash your hands before you come inside. And I'm like, where have you been the last 2 days? And my thing is, no matter how much you wash your hands and what you do, you have to essentially carry around like a Lysol with you at all times, because when you're at a buffet, no matter how many times you wash your hands, people are grabbing stuff with their hands. They're grabbing the tongs. They're using those. They're, grabbing the napkin things. They're grabbing the plates. So I kept thinking to myself, because of these last 2 years, I'm like, okay, I washed my hands. I brought one of the wipes. I have all this stuff, but I'm still touching all of these tongs that 200 other people just touched today. So, it's like, so I kept telling myself, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your face, don't touch your eyes, but my mom thinks that I might have gotten sick because when I went swimming with the dolphins, which is totally different when you're Italian, but when I went swimming with the dolphins, swimming with the fishes, people, yeah.
I get you.
Yeah, so when I went swimming with the dolphins, you got to go with me a little bit. You got to it's learned, right? So when I'm swimming with the dolphins, I took on a bunch of water and drank half the pool, and by accident, because you're swimming and the dolphin's pulling you. So I thought to myself, they say never drink the water in Mexico. I was also snorkeling by where there was a dead fish. So maybe there was some type of virus or something in the water where the dead fish was. I have no idea, but could have been anything.
It really could be. I don't know. You just, you got to heal up, buddy. You got a lot of fun stuff up ahead. So I don't know. Hopefully you have the medicine in you. One of these 5 medications will work, I'm hoping, and you get back better than ever, because I know it stinks to feel like garbage. I woke up on Tuesday morning with lower back pain on my left side, and then as the day went on, it got worse and worse. And now just to go to sleep, I'm like screaming in pain. The other night, I woke up every hour because it was too painful. I'd go to sleep, and then laying on where the back pain is would wake me up every single time. So right now I have to go to sleep so it doesn't hurt, with my face towards the TV and sleeping on my stomach on the opposite end of my bed. Like my socks are where my pillows are right now, and that's the only thing that's making the back pain manageable. When I stand, it's manageable, but laying down and sitting hurts. So when I was covering Penn State basketball on Tuesday, I was fidgeting up a storm. They probably thought I was out of my mind, or I was like Tyrone Biggums or something, because I was moving like crazy because I had to get comfortable. And if they test for me, I'm the next Mark Wire, Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa. I am on the roids. I just went to the doctor yesterday. They got me on prednisone, and so for the next 5 days, I'm going to be jacked out of my mind. I can crush home runs anywhere, or I'll think I'm invincible. Who knows what the heck I'm capable of. They said don't take it. It's like gremlins. Don't feed them after midnight. They said don't take this right before bed because you can get very hyper on the steroid. But so I'm on this anti-inflammatory steroid, and so hopefully that will help with the back pain. So I know what you're feeling, because I'm feeling kind of like garbage right now, and I'm all roided up, and hopefully this back pain will go away soon, because I like to run every day, and I like to give piggyback rides to my 3-year-old and 5.5-year-old daughter, and they don't understand when I tell them my back's hurting. They want to be picked up and played with, and I want to do that stuff and have fun with them. And right now, if I do that, my whole back might give out. So, I'm just trying to get through it. So hopefully we'll feel better, and Arson Coke will be back and better than ever in the very near future.
So I want to tell you something that I find funny in God's humor, and that is the fact that I was also just finished up, but I was also on prednisone. So you and I have both been roid raging, apparently.
We're like McGuire and Sosa, the 98 home run chase. We're steroid brothers now.
Yeah, so Arson and Coke, and the thing is, with my nickname being Coke, it makes perfect sense that I've had multiple medications. So it's like I have if you look at, now, people that know me know that I don't even take Tylenol. If you look in my kitchen right now, I have, let me think. I have 6 medications. And it's insane to come downstairs, and I have to remember, and they say take your pills like most of them are every 12 hours. So I want to get them all done, and I want them working together, like fighting to defeat this thing. So I don't stagger them. Yeah. So I don't stagger them. I'm like, I had them on like different schedules. One, it was like I took it at 4 in the afternoon because I just picked it up, and I'm like, oh crap, now I have to take it at 4 in the morning. And so now I've like shifted those to like 7, 8 o'clock. And now when I wake up in the morning, I take the majority of them together. I'm like, all right, guys, it's teamwork time. And it's like 3 pills at 8 a.m. Let's go. Then I got another one. Then I got another one. You know what I mean? So it's like I do the things that I have to do, but I try to stay on a schedule. But now I'm just like, I got all these pills working together. But it's crazy because the last girl I dated, I looked at her and I was like, why do you have 9 pills? Like, she looked like, and the thing is, now she told me, and be leery of any man or woman that tells you this. I was like, are you sure you're not bipolar? She's like, I got tested for it a couple of years ago. That was the end of the statement. She didn't tell me what happened. She's like, oh, I got tested for that. I'm like, okay, what did the test say?
Well, what's the result? I think if you're going to say that, you at least like to know what the result is.
Yeah, because, I mean, and so, but she took like 9 different pills, and it like freaked me out. And now here I am with like, and I told the doctor, I go, I don't want to take all these pills if I don't have to. He's like, well, you sound terrible. I was like, well, that's kind of all of your guys' fault. Okay. Because he told me, he's like, if the first lady treated you, you would be better by now. And I'm like, well, that's really cool because that didn't happen. And, and I'm sitting here going, well, I shouldn't have to pay for the first visit with the lady because I don't even think she should honestly be working in medicine. And then the second person in the same office as the guy who treated me, he checks ear, nose, and throat, but he doesn't check throat as thorough. I looked at your throat, but I didn't look at your throat. I'm just, I shouldn't be paying these bills. I should pay a bill to the last guy who gave me medicine, who didn't know what broadcasting was, who's an extremely amazing vocal coach, allegedly. So that's what it comes.
He's going to make you the next Bob Costas, Mike Tirico, Joe Buck. Allegedly, he's the secret to the success to be the top broadcaster in the game. So, hey, Who knows if this? I want this guy to guarantee the success. Like what was it? The Men's Warehouse with suits. They got suits, and they had to stop saying it. They had the guy with the beard used to say, "And I guarantee you'll like the way you look." Now they can't say that because they can't guarantee anything now anymore. But yeah, so if he's gonna be the greatest vocal coach in the world, I want you to become the next Bob Costas overnight. Let's see how successful this dude is.
Well, and here's the thing. He's like, I'm going to train your voice to do the right and I think I know when he said, like, I think you popped a blood vessel in your vocal cords. I think I know where it came from, and I blame my ex-wife. And so I,
all your ailments.
Ross, if you look back at my life and you're looking back at things that happened to me, they are their fault. So, so I look back on it and I'm like, when my ex-wife cheated on me, I'm not the type of person that's going to hit a woman, so I didn't know what to do. I yelled, and I yelled really loud because I was like, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. So I think what I did is and I felt like I had torn my vocal cord, and I kept talking through it instead of resting my voice. I kept doing my show, and it hurt like heck for like 3 months. So I think that that's when I did it. So if she wouldn't have cheated on me and come home drunk that night, I wouldn't need a vocal coach, so it's her fault. So
yes, and now you go through pain, and now you have this delusional doctor telling you how your voice is garbage, and he's going to make you a superstar. So it's all, and again, it all goes back to all these exes. It's like all my exes live in Texas. Now I live in Tennessee, so it all goes back to your exes and all the lady issues. I get it, buddy.
Well, Ross, you've known some of the girls that I've dated, and I think that if you were nice enough not to do it, your wife, Abby, would definitely blame them for a lot of things. So, because Abby knows. Abby, and that's what I'm going to do now. If I ever find another woman again who's not evil, and listen, women out there, there's a lot of guys out there that are evil too, and I feel your pain. If I ever find a good one out there again, somehow, I shouldn't say again, when did it happen the first time? But if I ever find a good one out there, shout out to a couple of my exes, though, they were super nice. But if I ever find a good one out there, I'm bringing her to Abby. And I'm just going to let Abby, bring her to the basement and waterboarding, whatever she has to do to get her to tell the truth. Because Abby will I'll be like, hey, Abby, I met this girl. She'll be like, bring her to Ross and I. And then she'll be like, you know what? Why don't you and Ross go to a movie? You guys need to go do something. And then we'll come back and she'll be cleaning up some tools and utensils. And she'll go, so do you want to know what I found out? And that's really all I need. So I'm just letting your wife know that I completely trust her to bring the new girlfriend to the basement. You and I will go to a movie, and then she'll just let me know her findings when we get back.
She's no nonsense. She'll get it out of them. She'll figure out what's going on. Do they have crazy red flags to watch out for? And it would be very helpful. So, hey, if you find a lady in a few weeks, we can go see the new Ant-Man movie, and she can do the interrogation. So I think it will work for everybody.
Yeah, so hopefully things will work out. Greg said tested with a question mark, and I don't know what that means. So Carl said, I've been on the roids. I felt invincible. Carl asked if you had anything you wanted to announce. Do you have an announcement?
Well, I have an announcement, but I don't know with all the different things we're talking about if it's appropriate to announce, because we're saying some shady things, and this is a big announcement. I have a little bit of career news that I have that they've offered me. I've accepted, and I'm filling out the HR paperwork they're mailing to me. I am going to be the new head baseball coach at Luzerne County Community College in Coke, Pennsylvania, which is about 20 minutes from my house.
You're going to be a head baseball coach?
A head college baseball coach. 2-year school in JUCO college baseball. And I did the interview a couple weeks ago, and then I just got the email on Wednesday saying they finished their interviews and they offered me the job, and I very happily accepted this amazing honor. So it's one of those things I've always looked forward to doing. I've been playing in these Sunday beer league baseball leagues to continue my passion for baseball. I've covered baseball games in Little League for the Times Leader newspaper and the Penn State Scranton baseball, and now I will get a chance to mold young minds and be a head baseball coach. I was a T-ball head coach with my daughter the last 2 years. I got to be a volunteer assistant coach at Marywood at our alma mater where we played college baseball, and now I will get a chance to be the head baseball coach at Luzerne County Community College, and it's exciting. And Well, at first I'm surprised that Carl's even awake at this hour. I'm shocked. He's probably like either in his bed or in his office on the potty making this announcement.
I think Carl was the third cat in the story I was talking about earlier.
He very well. Yes, he likes to watch. Yes. And it's exciting because also this is a team that hasn't, for the last 2 or 3 years, has not had a team since COVID. They kind of shut down. They have a field on campus, and basically it's starting a college baseball program from scratch again, from the ground up, and building that foundation. So it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm very excited to just get started with that. So that is the new information, that I will be the head baseball coach at LCC, and it'll be very exciting.
Well, see, folks, you're finding out around the world when his best friend is finding out. So I did not know this. Ross is a very humble person.
This is very new news, so I just figured I've been keeping it mostly on the down low.
Well, this the thing is, would you, if I didn't ask, if Carl didn't write anything, would you have told me today?
Maybe off the air I would have texted you, but I've told very few people so far.
So very few. This is how it should be: Abby then me, or me then Abby. That's the only.
And then what I got to do is I was going for haircuts at Malcolm's Haircut in Dallas, so my kids know. My mom and little brother Henry were there for their weekly visit. They were at the haircut place when I found out in the email. I've been waiting for the email for the last week, checking my email. I've been refreshing the history, like, when am I going to find this? When am I going to find out this? And I finally got it while I was checking my email, waiting for the kids' haircut to be finished. And all 3 of us got our haircuts done with our scheduled appointments at the same time. And so they know. So basically, it's just my immediate family knows. I messaged Carl after I got it, and that's about it. No one else really knows. So I've kept it pretty secretive for the time being. And like I said, I have some paperwork to finalize, but I accepted the offer, and it's exciting stuff.
So I was the 47th person to find out.
You're the first non-family member who knows. So you should feel you're an extended part of the Turetsky family, because everyone, the only people before you who knew were just people who either live in my house or I was born and raised in. So it still should be an honor. No one else knows. No, until now. Whoever's listening to the show now will know.
Yeah, now everybody knows. But, that's, there's people in, like, Nova Scotia going, oh, I don't know why people, I feel like in Nova Scotia, I was going to start doing a Swedish voice. I don't know why I feel like people are Swedish in Nova Scotia. I don't know what they are in Nova Scotia. I was like, oh, was, it's very good for us. And then I was like, that's also kind of German. So, I don't.
And they're probably like, what the heck is Nanticoke, Pennsylvania? It sounds like a fantasy land stuff, but this is a real place, and it's not far from Wilkes-Barre, where the Wilkes-Barre Penguins play, and not far from the Rail Riders play in Scranton, and from my house in Dallas, it's about a 20-minute drive, so it's pretty quick. And my wife actually works in Nanticoke, so we will be working pretty close to each other. And not far is the campus, and the baseball field's on the campus, so it'll be kind of nice. And probably be very helpful at times when we have to exchange the kids, so she can have them for a little bit, I can have them. I think sometimes for certain practices and games, I already told them they could be the bat boy and bat girl, and they can help out. And I think they'll enjoy that. So I want them to be a part of it. I'll get them little uniforms. And they really like the mascot for the college is the Trailblazer, this little horsey mascot that goes, nay! And I showed them a video of the horsey buying things at the bookstore on the Facebook page for the college, and they're very excited to meet him. And during the interview, when I mentioned this, they thought that was very cute, that my little kids like the horsey mascot. And they said, we think we can arrange that. We probably can get, if you want, you could probably even dress up in the horsey mascot during the game or something. So I think they'll be very excited to meet the Mr. Trailblazer. So, yeah, I want them to be a part of it as well. So if they could be a bat boy, bat girl, and hang out sometimes at practices and games, I'd be all for that. I'd be very happy.
So you're going to be a coach. You're going to be
everyone can do.
You're going to be a coach now. You're going to be back in the sport of baseball you love. You're going to be recruiting. Luzerne County Community College, I believe, plays OCC up here in the community. Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, where I have the exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, they just created their baseball team. They're having their inaugural season this year. So, could be something down the road to schedule some Bryan and Stratton games, because they try to do things within like a 4-hour radius or so. So we could see you up here and us down there. And the funny thing is, you had that news, and I was about to hit you with something, is that you're at Penn State Scranton doing stats and covering these games and doing all this stuff. Well, I wanted to let you know that the baseball team just released their first ever schedule in their inaugural season for the Bryan and Stratton College team, the Bobcats of Syracuse. And guess who was on the list? And I was going to write to you. Penn State Scranton's on the list multiple times, and I was going to write to you, well, I guess you and I are going to have some crossover.
Nice. Yeah, I already know Bryan Stratton, the Albany campus and the Syracuse campus has played and come even to Penn State Scranton in Dugmore, PA. I've covered some games with Bryan Stratton. I know you have your relationship with that college, so I was like, oh, Dan would get a kick out of this. So back a few months ago, I told you that the basketball teams were playing each other. So I thought it was only a matter of time that the other teams would play, whether it be volleyball or softball, baseball. So that's excellent news. The baseball season is going to start pretty soon at Penn State Scranton, so it's pretty cool that they will face off, and it'll be a little bit of your hometown and my hometown go head to head.
Yeah, so you and I are going to have a lot of crossover. Here's the question now. Do I now have the exclusive rights of interviewing the head coach of the Luzerne County Community College baseball team?
Anytime. You could definitely interview me whenever you like. So, it's like I said, it's all very new, so we're going to see if we can get a season in and schedule games very much on the fly, and get enough interest on campus to see what we can get for a season, because if we're going to play this year, it's going to have to happen really quick now that we're in February. So, yes, anytime you could definitely be the exclusive broadcast interviewer of me and Luzerne County Community College baseball.
And, Greg was writing in here, Broome County Community College, that could be good for you. But I think, like, right now with the schedule coming out, if I called over to Sean Peake at Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse and said, hey, do you want to add a game? Listen, that's a couple hours for you. You could be able to get them on the schedule right away. So we could have a little assist for you already this morning.
I think it would be awesome if we can get some games going and get a team going. I know there's a hunger for it. They said on campus there's people, there's guys who have a passion for baseball, went to the school there. We're hoping to play, and in the last few years they've not had that opportunity, so I'm sure they would be jonesing to get on that ball field and prove what they can do. So I'm glad that they finally going to get this chance, and I'm ready to play ball, so I'm very excited about that.
Do you have any NIL deals, or would you like one?
I'm not doing any of that right now. Right now, it'd be just get enough guys, get practices in, and let's play. Let's see what we can do on the ball field. That down the road, we can see what you can do. But I know they said it's Division III junior college baseball, so there's no athletic scholarships. They can get academic scholarships and all. And it's also a very affordable campus, so it's a nice campus. It's in a suburban neighborhood, and it's a very affordable education. You can get a lot of things that you could eventually transfer to your school and then transfer over, or get your degree in what you're going to get, associate's degree, and then move on to the professional world. So there's a lot of different opportunities, and I even said in my interview that I would hope to be there for my players whenever they needed me. Years from now, when they stop playing, they want letters of recommendation. If they need someone to talk to, if they're going through some stuff, personally, professionally, I'm always there for them. So I always said that they could be a phone call away, email me, whatever. So I plan to be there for them as much as possible, because I've had a lot of great coaches along the way. There were a few ones that were not the best, but I had some really good coaches, especially in college. And my baseball coach in college, head baseball coach Joe Ross, I looked up to him as a father figure, not having much of a father figure growing up. So if I could be that to my players, I'd be very excited to be able to offer that to them, because there are people who get into coaching business sometimes for the wrong reasons, but the ones who do it for the right reasons, having a love for it and cherish that opportunity and want to make a difference, a positive difference to these kids' lives, I look up to that. And if you could be a positive role model, I think you can change generations to come for the better if you could be there for them, and that's what I plan to be. So I'm very excited for the opportunity, and I definitely want to say that you probably remember him from our time at Marywood, but he ran the security department. But Coach Joe Ross, he's a guy I definitely looked up to, and if I could be even a tenth of the coach he was, I'd be very excited and would consider that an honor. So he was definitely a guy I looked up to, because I had a lot of coaches leading up to that I didn't think were very good and cared for their players, and he definitely cared for his players, and you could walk into his office and chat with him whenever you needed to, whether about baseball, whether about relationships, whether about bad dates you had on a Friday night. And he wanted to talk to you. We'd crush some Mountain Dews together, and the players would have an open door policy and can chat with him whenever they needed to. And I thought it was very helpful.
Well, and that's shout out to Coach Ross, Joe Ross, and everything that he did at Marywood University, first ever baseball coach there. So a lot of great stuff.
Back in 1995, he was a great player. University of Scranton in college during his playing days, and then 95 he started that program from scratch, and now they go to the playoffs a decent amount now, and he left quite a legacy and a foundation for the next coaches. And I know you were interviewing their baseball coach this past year, and they've gotten better and better, Marywood baseball. So it's very excited as a alumni of that school to see how good that baseball program has become. And a lot of that is due to what Coach Ross did, and built that foundation from nothing to what it is now, where it's a very respectable Division III baseball team.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to see what Jason Thiel and Coach Ross and everybody has done over there with the baseball team at Marywood, our alma mater. So, great thing. I mean, we're here on the show today on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, and Arson and Coke are the monikers we take on. Little joke, little play on words, having some fun with you. So here I am thinking we're going to joke around, talk about all this stuff. The show started off with cat voyeurs, and now we're talking about, Ross having this really, serious, awesome opportunity coming up. You threw me a curveball, brother, but I'm so happy for you. I have a really important question that has nothing to do with what you just told me, and that is, I made a promise to you. I keep my promises, and we've tried to do things in the past.
Are you trying to set up our Ant-Man movie day, our man day?
See, that's the thing about you, is that there's so few people that get me. Like, I need to find a woman that treats me like you do, Ross. That's what I need. I need to find the woman counterpart that can read my brain, understand me, know what I need, because, Ross, I don't know what it is, but, if you didn't have Abby, we almost Chuck and Larry'd this thing, I feel like, because Ross knows my brain, and I'm kidding, but Ross knows my brain, and literally, I don't even have to say anything. I literally just said, hey, Ross, got to ask you a question. It has nothing to do. Does this have to do with Ant-Man? I didn't even say Marvel. I didn't say movie. I said nothing. Ross is one of those people that if him and I were playing like the game, like How Well Do You Know Your Friends, and they said, you need to name a fruit that, before they even finish it, he'd be like, watermelon, done, next question. And because it's just, he knows my brain. And you've done that. I've told you that you've done that in my life pretty much since we've known each other in 2000, started hanging out in 2008.
2008.
So,
that's 15 years already, yeah.
So, okay, so.
Right when the first MCU Marvel movie, the first Iron Man came out with Robert Downey Jr., no one expected it to be the box office sensation it was, and all the sequels, the Avenger movies after. That was in May of 2008, and then we had classes before that in Stuff and Communications program at Marywood, but yeah, around May of 2008, so 15 years ago, a few more months, we're 3 months away from making exactly 15 years since we hung out on the regular and went to movies. And when you lived in Scranton, we'd go to movies, sometimes 2-3 times a week, and we'd go to these late night movies where only us and the crazy people were out and about watching it, or maybe just people who were working late night and they just needed to get away. So
us and drug dealers. It was a real Arson and Coke party. It was us and drug dealers watching 11 p.m. movies. That's what it was.
Yeah, we would sometimes go as late as the Cinemark would be open, and sometimes they would try to lock the doors on us, even though the movie said it wasn't starting until 11:10, and they were trying to shut the doors at 11. I'm like, oh, we're here for the movie, and we'd have to beg our way in. But we would go see these late night movies and then find whatever place was open to eat afterwards. And those are very fond memories. A lot of the stuff, with not having a good relationship with women and all these other things lead up to that, were not great at that time. But from those times, we were just going to the movies and hanging out and watching 6 overtime basketball games with Syracuse and Johnny Flynn, in the Big East tournament against UConn. Those are memories that will always stay with me, and I have very fond memories that I still enjoy thinking about to this day.
Yeah, and we've gotten to have those, and every time a new movie comes out, I always want to get out there and do that, and I feel horrible when I don't. And
I got to finally see the new Black Panther movie, Wakanda Forever. It came to Disney Plus on February 1st on Wednesday, so I was excited to see that, and I very much enjoyed it. And great tribute to the late great Chadwick Boseman. Some good cameos in it, and just a very good story. So I was very happy, and even the end credits scene, and whoever hasn't seen it, I will not say what it is, but there was just a lot of great stuff, a lot of emotion, and it seemed like the people who were making that movie truly cared about what they were doing and really wanted to honor the late Chadwick Boseman. It was a great memorial tribute to him, kind of almost like they had a very cathartic moment, therapeutic moment to have a funeral service for him in the movie and really send him off in the best way possible for such an amazing person that they got to be with. And, they all, you could tell, were sad to come back on set without him, but they made the most of it in his honor.
Yeah, and I think what was really cool about it is in the beginning when they had the funeral procession and, they're walking with his casket, that it has him as the Black Panther doing Wakanda Forever with his arms crossed. And then when the ship takes it up, that the ship picks it up and then turns it, and then it almost looks like him being brought up because he's facing everybody with the Wakanda Forever, and the casket is like standing straight up facing everyone as it goes up into the thing. I cried 4 times in that movie, and I cried multiple times. I saw the movie 5 times. The last time I saw it was on the cruise. I was cruising with it. So, but I always feel bad because every time a movie comes out, I talk to you about it, and I want to come see it with you. And there was a lot of traveling going on these past few weeks, and I didn't want to leave Lily alone anymore. So, but I did give you my word for Ant-Man. I have been home for a few weeks now, and so you and I have to figure it out. Here's my thing. I'm extremely impatient, so I want to know, and I'm asking this live now. Ross and I are best friends. He calls me his best good friend, which is a shout out to Forrest Gump. And, and then there's always people that are like, but you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. But, so. Forrest and Bubba Gump with the shrimp boat. And you know what? Friends. Down in Miami, there's a Bubba Gump shrimp. So I don't trust.
I like it there. If I worked there, I'd probably go crazy because they showed the movie on a loop nonstop.
Yeah.
For 24 straight hours. I probably had to bash my head in a wall. It's a great movie. It's the best picture, and he won Best Actor in the Oscars. And I know the Oscars are coming up, but it's terrific, but not for 24 straight hours. Like, they are playing on a loop all day long, and they're selling all the merchandise. And Mama says I'm special, and I gotta pee. They have all these like funny different shirts and cups, and we bought some of the stuff. We went to the one in Times Square, went to one in Baltimore by Inner Harbor, but that's not a movie, any movie that I could sit through. And if I had to work there and even just hear the dialogue nonstop all day, I'd have to have like earplugs on. I just don't think I could handle it.
See, but here's the thing. That movie's a couple hours. If you worked at Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater at Disney's Hollywood Studios like I have, the clips of the movies and the commercials are on a loop, and it's like every 15 minutes it resets. So this is every 15 minutes. So I worked from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. running the dining room for 13 hours. I heard that thing so many times that what did Chris Rock say when he was talking about OJ? He's like, I'm not saying he should have killed her, but I understand. So like when you're watching this 15-minute over and over and over and over again, it's like, I'm not saying people should go crazy, but I understand. And it was but I mean, being in there, you had to tune it out. You had to not pay attention to it. You had to do something else with it. I don't know how I blocked it out, because I'd be standing in that dining room, and if I heard that thing on a loop every 15 minutes, I mean, it's kind of like waterboarding, right? It's kind of like doing that thing to make somebody lose their mind. I think, this is what I think we're doing wrong in society. I think if we want a terrorist to talk, we lock them in a room and play the Kardashians and Real Housewives, and they'll talk within an hour, in my belief.
Or maybe nonstop. I know my wife loves the HGTV, the Property Brothers, the Love It or List It ones. Those could be annoying. I always joked when I used to do stand-up comedy that I would call it hobo stew, what I used to make. And my wife says that even on her deathbed, she does not want me to make for her.
He made it for me. You made it for me.
A pot of spaghetti, frozen vegetables, and like 10 hot dogs. So I need my meat, vegetables,
and you didn't use sauce. He used ketchup on macaroni, folks. Ketchup.
And it looked disgusting, but it tasted surprisingly good. At least for me, and my mom probably thinks anything I do is amazing.
It tasted a lot better than you think it would taste.
Yes, it wasn't that bad, but it looked bad. It smelled bad, and she still says like, because I keep saying like, oh, I appreciate all these. She used to be a big time head chef and was amazing cook what she does at the house. But I always say, I can cook for you. I can. She makes it idiot proof where I just put things on a crock pot or in the oven. She tells me the exact time and temperature, and even I can't mess it up. And has all the ingredients set up. But I was like, I can make you my famous hobo stew. And she's like, please no. She's like, don't do this. And I said, one day I'll get you. She's like, not even on my deathbed will I let you make me hobo stew.
It's funny though.
One day I will wear her down. Maybe she'll take a taste of it, but as of now, she says absolutely not.
Well, the funny thing is, if you ever have to take care of her, like if she ever has like a cold one day, which I hope to God she never does, because colds these days last like 37 months. But if she ever had anything bothering her and she's in bed and she couldn't get out of bed, like she's like, oh, Ross, I just feel worn down. At that point, she has no choice but to accept your hobo stew. So, like that's at that time, you could just get, I mean, listen, there was one girl that my ex-wife's friend, and this girl was gorgeous. Like, it's one of those people where, like you're dating someone and you're like, why didn't I meet your friends first? But like, so really pretty girl, also helped my ex-wife in cheating. So kind of a scumbag, but she couldn't, she always would tell us she couldn't eat anything. She was allergic to everything. I can't eat bread. I can't even look at bread. If I'm in a room with bread, like I'll die. And then she got drunk one night and she went out and got a calzone with macaroni and cheese and hot dog inside of the Rigot heated breaded calzone and ate the whole thing in 10 minutes. And I'm like, this is the girl who can't eat bread, who can't have milk, who can't have dairy, and now that she's drunk, she has superpowers when she gets drunk. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, she ate the most disgusting smelling and looking thing. I was the only sober person in the room, and I almost threw up more than everybody else combined. It was gross. It's disgusting.
It sounds terrible, yeah. I don't have words for that. It's just I can almost sense it.
You can smell it. You can smell it. So here's my thing.
That smell has traveled through Syracuse, your studio at home, all the way through my phone in Dallas, PA, and it's so visceral. I could like smell it right through my nostrils, all the way through the phone. Right. Somehow, I could still smell that stench.
So think about that. Who needs a vocal coach if I can get you to smell something through the airwaves by the way I describe it? It's like I think I'm okay. But here's the thing.
I'm like 2.5 hours away, hundreds of miles away.
I guess
you can get me to smell that.
I can get you to smell it, yeah. I can also tell you the story. It's a very inappropriate one about hot tuna, and I'll tell you that one off the air. But
you really get me to lose this job. That's another reason why I didn't necessarily want to say anything right now. Cause I'm like, there's going to be some shady stuff being talked about on this show, and I'm going to lose the show before I can get a chance to start.
Well, the thing is, how do you lose the job if I'm inappropriate? How do you lose the job?
I gotta basically just have a stone-faced reaction. Like I can't be going too far with some of these things.
Well, here's the thing, though. If Arson Coke is a real thing, which it is, then now that you've accepted this job, are you not allowed to joke with me on the broadcast anymore?
Oh, I can joke. There's just certain things that I would probably not joke about on air, but I can definitely joke.
But that's like
Arson will not go away. I will still let loose when I'm on the air with you.
I'm going to say, don't take the Ross out of Ross, because I came to that one Philadelphia show, and you were gross that day. You were very disgusting. So.
Oh, my steel kayak, yeah. Yeah, it was a different place. This was a single Ross, and talking about all the unsuccessful adventures I had along the way. So I met my beautiful wife. So yeah, she's the love of my life. But before that, I lived a very different life. So this comedy reflected that.
You have a good wife, but there's some people that be like, yeah, I had a terrible life until I met my beautiful wife. And then it's like, if you panned out, there's like a gun to the person's head. You know what I mean? But like not in this case, because I know Abby and I like Abby and she's an amazing person. I love her. I really think she's great. Like I don't see her a lot, obviously, during the year. And when I do see her, it's like your family, and she like does so much, and she's so kind, and I'm used to doing everything for myself. So, oh no, sit down, I'll do this. And she gave me a big hug and asked me about everything. And I genuinely think that she would kill anybody that crossed me. I appreciate that. I mean, there's times where like I'm never going to condone murder. But there's times where like things were happening in my relationships where I kind of wish Abby was there in the moment to just like be like, hey, Dan, tap out of the ring. Let me tap in because I can hit her and you can't. And that, you know what I mean? Like that could be. I wonder what Abby would have done with the last girl if she was there within the moments where the girl was crawling on the ceiling. Like I wonder what Abby would have done in this.
You want her in the foxhole with you. If you a big situation, life or death situation, you want my wife Abby in your corner because she will defend you. She's loyal. She will be your biggest champion, but she'll also challenge you when you need it. She'll tell you when you've messed up, what you need, because you can't always have a person who just says, yes, you're amazing in everything you do. You need people in your life and in relationships to challenge you in all kinds of relationships, and you need that. So I'm very humble and very happy that each and every day that I get to enjoy my time with Abby. But no, it's great because you have all this great fun and then she's saying, "Oh, you're doing such great things," and she's cheering you on, very supportive. But she also, if you mess up or if you could do something better, she'll tell you. And I totally like that because if you didn't get that, then you would never learn, you would never get better. And I even tell her, I try to be the best version of myself because I want to be the best version for her and for our kids. And I will continue to strive for that every day. I know I'm a work in progress. I've gotten better over the years, and our 9 years together, and I feel like I will keep getting better as more time goes on. I get more mature, and that definitely has a lot to do with her.
Yeah, no, Abby, an incredible person to have in your foxhole. If she was on the other side of the war, not in your foxhole, the one person you would never want to see on the battlefield would be Abby. So that's a good thing. When you look around and you have a good squad when you look at everybody around you and you go, I would never want you to not be on my team. You know what I mean? Like, I would never want to have to face you somewhere else. And, I know Abby's the type of person where she'd be like, what'd she do to you? What'd she say? Give me the keys to your house. Don't come home for like 3 hours. Okay, cool. And so, like that.
That sounds like, if you remember the movie The Breakup, and of course they're great, funny comedians on screen and best friends off screen. Jon Favreau was the bartender, and Vince Vaughn was there as his best friend, talking about how his relationship with Jennifer Aniston in the movie fell apart, and he's having all these issues. And then Jon Favreau goes into one of these funny tangents, basically saying, "What'd she do? Is she with another guy?" He basically like, "Oh, don't say anything about anything more. Just make sure you have an alibi for the next 3 hours. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." And he's like, "I don't want you to do anything." He's like, "Oh, that's good. Make it louder so if anyone hears you, you didn't want me to do anything. You don't know anything." Yeah. So it was just
he's like really play it up, and he's like
best friend, and he's very upset that he feels like he was wronged by his significant other, and he's basically saying "You don't have to worry about it. I got this taken care of. Just look the other way." And it's just a hilarious exchange between these two people who, on and off screen, just seem like they had the time of their lives when they're hanging out together.
Yeah, he's playing it up, and then he's like, "I don't want you to do anything," and he winks, and he's like, "I understand." He's like, "No, I really don't want you to do anything." He's like, "No, I got you," and he's winking. He's like, "No," because I'm telling you. He's like, "No, say it louder, play it out." He's like, "I love that." He's like, "You don't want me to do what? You don't want me to do anything?" He's like, "No, really, seriously, don't hurt her." And then he goes to leave, and he kind of stops, and he looks at him again. He's like, You're not doing anything." He's like, "Of course not." And he kind of winks at him. He's like, "I'm serious. Don't do anything." So let's go back to Ant-Man. So February 16th. So the movie comes out. Everybody knows that it's a lie. Okay? Everybody says Friday's the release date, which is it's a savage lie.
Movies you saw the new Dark Knight, the bad movie with Heath Ledger and Christian Bale from back in the day. It used to be an actual midnight screening if you had to go to it. But now they make it as early as usually 3 p.m. and they have a show in every half hour through midnight on the day before. So it will technically be Thursday, February 16th. And then, the official open day is February 17th. So it's right after the Super Bowl. It's actually the weekend the XFL starts. The new XFL. It's the third version of the XFL. This one by the new owner, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You smell what The Rock is cooking. Hopefully this one actually works, and they got it away from Vince McMahon and all that. So the XFL will be on that weekend, but football will be over. Baseball, spring training will have just started, even though I know you say that's fake news. Baseball will be back soon.
Not real.
There won't be any games yet, and it'll be basketball and hockey still going on, but at least regular football that you enjoy and love. The Super Bowl will be over on the 12th of February. Valentine's Day will be over. So yeah, it's a pretty open time. It's gonna be President's Day weekend, and I just know the movie's gonna destroy the box office and do very well. And it looks like it'll be a mixture of the usual comedy of Paul Rudd and these Ant-Man movies, the previous two Ant-Man films you've seen, and now you get some serious stuff because you have it looks almost like the end of the world. And the beginning of this Kang dynasty with Jonathan Majors, a heck of an actor, and he's going to be the new baddie. He's going to be the new Thanos in these future Avenger movies. He's even going to be the new Rocky spinoff Creed 3 that Michael B. Jordan is going to make his directing debut, and he's going to be his arch nemesis, who is childhood friend and went to prison and then comes out and wants to take everything from Adonis Creed in that movie, and he's super jacked in that movie. That's coming out March 3rd. So right after, he's going to have a gigantic year. Right after he has this new Ant-Man movie and sets him up as the new bad guy in these Marvel movies, he's going to be in the Creed 3 movie with Michael B. Jordan. So Jonathan Majors, the sky's the limit for this guy. He's a talented actor, and he's super jacked and imposing, so it's going to be exciting to see his debut in this Ant-Man movie. And I know you've seen it before, in the Loki show, but in movie form, this will be his debut, and I'm very excited to see that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, to go back to everything, I mean, to the beginning of it, I want to get back to, I mean, theaters have lied to us, okay? That's what I want. It's not Friday, it's Thursday. If you go to the first showing, and like you said, it's not, it used to be midnight, it used to be Thursday night, so they could technically say it was Friday because it's Thursday night, but it was midnight. Now, then, after, like, some of the unfortunate things happen in movie theaters because mental health is a crisis and we need to help people and things need to get better, and it does not need to be that easy to get a fire weapon. So, anywho, but going back to the reality, so then they started making movies earlier, right? They didn't make them at midnight, or they made them at midnight, but then it was 10 p.m., then it was 8 p.m., then it was 7 p.m. Now you could go see them at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, not even on Friday, on Thursday, you can go do it. So, the really big question, Ross, the most important question of the day is, are we going February 16th? It's a Thursday. So can I have you away from, can we just you and I to go see the movie like old times, and just go to this movie, go to Ant-Man and the Wasp? Can we go on Thursday, or does it have to be the weekend? Because there's a Duke game, Syracuse-Duke, got to be at the game. But here's my thing. I'm keeping my word, keeping my promise to you. So above everything...
Like The Bachelor, who's going to get the red rose? Will you set this date?
This is what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying to you is I have stipulations. I want to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp with you, but it has to be only you. I gotta go back and relive 2008, just you and I, sitting, relaxing, having a good time. Is it possible to do that on a Thursday, or how do we make this work? Because listen, I love my niece and I love my nephew. When we went to see Thor Love and Thunder, I realized that LJ is 572 pounds because when he jumped, the entire Cinemark shook. I thought he was going to cause an avalanche on the mountain, to be completely honest. So here's the question. Are we seeing the movie with the kids? Are we seeing the movie with Abby? Is it you and I? What are we doing? And can we go Thursday, because it's a lie when they say it's Friday? So are we going on opening day, or what are we doing? I'm putting you on the spot, but it's important. What are we doing?
Well, like I said, I don't know exactly what our schedule will be with baseball starting off, but I think we could go opening day. I know it's President's Day weekend, so I don't know exactly what time my daughter gets out of school. LG has preschool really early. He's done by like 11:30. So it would all depend what time Lulu gets out of school. If we go in the daytime, and I know usually Thursday night she has dance. So it would either probably have to be in the afternoon, or that's when they start at 3 o'clock, or she gets out of dance class by 7:45, or it would have to be at night right after dance class. So we probably could make it work. So we'll have to just figure out the schedule.
Well, what I'm hearing right now is a lot of excuses. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing a lot of excuses coming from Rod.
Don't work around a schedule. I'm a family man. I told you that.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Comes first, and then I have different jobs that I'm doing. So I think we can make it work, whether it be in the afternoon after school or after dance class. They can go home, get ready for bed, and then we can do it 8 o'clock on. So I definitely think we can make it work.
Obviously, I'm kidding. I love my niece.
I always tell you, family comes first. I have to always put them first since 1992.
And I'm also family, right? I'm the.
You are family, but I have two little ones who depend on me. I know you like we care about our friendship very much, but I have two little ones.
Think about this though. Who would have thought? Who would have thought I was going to be the David Spade of my friends? Right? Like all my friends are. They're all married. They have kids. Well, I shouldn't say all of them, but most of my friends are married and they have kids. And
also like the grown-ups, right? I think of Rules of Engagement, the CBS sitcom, but also in the grown-up movies. All his friends are basically married, and he's like the weirdo loner who's kind of hanging out doing crazy stuff.
Well, so it's just funny to me that I've become the David Spade. It's like everybody's married, everybody's got kids. Some of them have multiple kids. And here's me being like...
I'm getting old. I wake up with like horrible back pain, need my steroids now. I'm going to be 37 in October. I know it happens. I first admit, when I wake up with horrible back pain like this, I realize for the first time, I'm not going to be 22 years old ever again. I'm not a young kid. I'm not in college anymore. And I'm feel my age when I wake up in the morning. It takes a while to get my body ready to go to either exercise or hang out with the kids and do things. Like, it's a struggle sometimes. It's only going to get worse as I get older. So... that's just part of life, but I enjoy this part of my life, but I also know that I'm not capable of doing certain things I could do when I was 20 years old.
Well, this is what I'm saying to you. I never thought I'd be in this position, but now that I'm in this position, this is my goal that I have with my friends who are married and have children. And by the way, love their wives, love the kids, happy to be an uncle. Let me preface it with all that. I'm going to say this, though. My job now is with Ross and with all of them is to come and get you in the middle of the night, throw you in a giant sack, throw you in the back of a truck, not let you know where you're going or what's going on, then be at the airport and hand you your ticket and we're going somewhere. My goal is with all of my married friends that...
Trying to get these old men to join the fraternity. Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn, Luke Wilson. They all had like mask covers, like they were burglars or bank robbers, and they were like basically just kidnapping their adult friends from their wives and throwing them in a van and getting them ready to pledge for their fraternity. It reminds me a lot of that scene from Old School from 20 years ago.
That's what I'm like. Listen, my goal is to bring you all on adventures because for some odd reason I'm 37 years old and single, and I didn't intend this. I intended to be the family man. I think most people thought I was going to get married first and, have my kids and all that stuff. But here I am. This is where I was supposed to be, and I love my life. And I, like I talked about earlier, love, my life and just love everything about it. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. So when that day comes, great. But now my job is to come out and do some fun things and make things, interesting and unique. So listen, if we're going with the kids, that's fine. If we're going with Abby, that's cool too. If we can have an Arson and Coke adventure, that's also going to be.
Likely what will probably happen because unless it's before Abby gets home, then the kids would probably come with us. Otherwise, else it'd probably just be us because Abby, she likes some of the superhero movies, but most of them she's not the biggest fan of. Like, she enjoyed the first Black Panther movie when we saw that, and we saw some Spider-Man movies. But, yeah, for the most part, she's not the biggest fan of superhero movies. So I know she's jonesing to see 80 for Brady that comes out today.
Boo.
That looks fun.
Boo.
With the four famous older actresses who wanted Destiny to see Brady. And this is based on a true story.
What is this about, though?
They came to the Super Bowl where he was down 28-3 to the Atlanta Falcons. They came back, made this triumphant overtime comeback win in the Super Bowl from a few years ago, and it really happened in real life. And you have these amazing actresses: Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, Sally Field, Rita Moreno, who's like 91 years old, and she still looks amazing and is such a funny, great actress. And they all want to meet Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. Guy Fieri, the crazy chef with the spiky, fiery hair, he's in the movie. So I know that's the movie my wife wants to see, and then also a lot of people are going to want to see the new Magic Mike movie comes out next week. So there's a bunch of different movies and the movies for Valentine's Day, but I know you've had it circled on your calendar, the new Ant-Man movie coming out on the 17th, and then, of course, my favorite movie of all time is the original Rocky. I have I can't wait for the Ant-Man movie. I have my calendar circled for March 3rd to see Jonathan Majors in Ant-Man, but also to see him against Michael B. Jordan's Adonis Creed in Creed 3. So even though it's supposedly the first Rocky movie without Sylvester Stallone, they claim he's not in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to find a way to say that, but I hope he continues the legacy, and I'm looking forward to that because I'm a diehard Rocky fan. I root for the underdogs. So a lot of great movies coming up, whether it's a guys movie or girls' night at the movies, whatever you want to call it. It's a lot of fun movies to come out and see pretty soon, and I'm so happy now we can actually go out to the movies and enjoy it. And I still remember for a while when the movie theaters got shut down. I won't take that for granted again because sports that are a big part of our lives, covering sports, being a part of sports, that got shut down. Movies got shut down. And it was just a lot of time at your home, and you could stream stuff on Netflix, but not a lot of socialization and go to big movie premieres and all that stuff. And I'm so excited that stuff is back.
Yeah.
And back to where it kind of was from about 3 years ago. So I'm very happy we got over all the craziness and madness that we had to deal with for those horrible times during the pandemic.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. Like, during the pandemic, in order to, have the true movie experience, I had to invite people over to talk on their phone during the movie, to drop popcorn on the floor, to have a baby that's 3 months old be in the theater in the first 10 rows. I had to have some people come over and just sit there and make out with each other to the point. Did I tell you that I went to a movie and there was these two teenagers making out next to me, and you couldn't help but see them making out, and I'm like a dad, what is going on? Why did this happen? And they're making out in this movie. It was Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And the girl kept making out with this guy and then looking at me and then drinking her drink and then looking at me again and then looking at me again. And it got to the point where it was do you think my dad, your dad hired me to check on you? Do you think I am your dad? Do you feel guilty about doing this? What?
Just crazy. Or they they're very happy to see that you're watching them.
No, it wasn't. It was just kind of like,
that's just creepy.
no, I would look over there like, okay, you know what? Like, you guys, it's enough. Like, you can love each other and whatever, but like, let's keep it respectful for the other people that are in here. And the girl, right. And the girl would just stop drinking her drink, and she would just turn and look at me, and then sometimes she'd sip it while looking at me, and I'm like, I never was in a situation where somebody was in it and they were the voyeur. Like, she was both. She was like, I'm going to make out, and then I'm going to stare at everybody else. But it was so weird, and it got to the point where, like, I would be eating my Sour Patch Kids, and then she would be, like, watching me eat my Sour Patch Kids, like she was waiting to say something, and I'm like, I feel really out of place right now as to what this girl's doing. Like, does she feel guilty that she's with this guy? Does she feel bad about it? Is there a conscience in her that's saying I shouldn't be, like, trying to make a baby during this movie? I don't know. But, you know, during COVID, I had to really open my door and say, I need the inappropriate kissers. I need the people that throw stuff. I need the people that talk on their cell phone. I need you all to come to my house because I can't watch a movie and feel like I'm at a theater unless I have all this stuff going on. But the thing is the reality to me is, movie theater etiquette, and I feel like it happens for Marvel movies because there's so many fans, especially if you go opening weekend. But I feel like it is totally okay in a movie theater if people are talking and being ridiculous for one person to tell people to shut up one time really loud and then for everybody to shut up. Because you should know to stop. Like, when I went to see Spider-Man No Way Home, there was all these people talking. And then one guy waited till right before the opening scene, and he yelled out, I love you, Spider-Man. And some other guy yelled out. And then, like, right after that, people were like, okay, now everyone shut up. Like, nobody speak. And I like that. Do not talk on your phone. Do not have a conversation. Like, just don't say anything. Don't talk. Don't do anything.
You gotta be in the moment.
Like,
if you want to do that, you can watch the movie at home and talk as much as you
like,
want.
listen,
but in a movie theater experience, you should really respect the other people around you and just enjoy the moment. That's what James Cameron was saying in his Avatar movies. He's like, yeah, people are going to complain and whine that they're over 3 hours long, and they have to hold in their pee for pee breaks and all that. But he's like, it's just the experience. He's like, you can watch the movie on the phone. It won't be nearly as good because you won't get to experience it. And the giganticness of what you're seeing on the big screen, right, it does not translate on your tiny little phone. Also, he's like, I'd rather you not be distracted where you're like looking at your phone, trying to do chores around the house, unload the dishwasher while you're trying to watch my movie because you're not going to get the same thing out of it. You should just be back in the day, like when you had no electronics on you and you left the phone, it was only a landline, there was no cell phone in your pocket. You would just stare at the screen and you get lost in that fantasy world. And for 2 to 3 hours, you have a nice distraction. Whatever's going on in your life, whether it be good or bad, you want to escape for something that's not going well in your life, you have that fun distraction for those next 2 or 3 hours
don't
that
talk.
you got to enjoy.
Don't talk. Just don't talk. It's regular etiquette. It's one of the biggest pet peeves I have. I've been on dates before where a woman is talking to me during the movie, and she's like, hey, like right before the movie starts, she goes, hey, what is this about? I'm like, are you serious? We talked about it the whole way here. Then we get there, like we're in the movie, she's like, what is this about? And then she goes, hey, and we're like, and granted, I've never seen the movie. 5 minutes in the movie, she goes, is he gonna die? Obviously, I didn't make this movie. I don't know. And then she's like, well, what's that guy about? What do you think's just gonna happen? If that happens to me enough during a date, I'm compelled. I haven't done it yet, but I feel like now I will. I want to. I want to get up and go to another row and then be like, I don't know that lady. She sat next to me. She started talking. She's like really obnoxious.
She did that. And like, how would she stay there? Would she stay in her seat while you're at the different
knowing the girls I dated, they would stay there and probably stare at me the whole time, peering through my soul, looking at me like, when we leave, I'm gonna murder you. Like that. She probably would stay.
You would have to definitely have one eye open at all times and watch your back. But it'd be interesting to see if you would ever do that.
No, I definitely feel like getting up and going to a row. No, I feel like getting up and going to like a row a few back from her and being like, I don't know who that lady is, but she will not stop talking. And I'm not, because that's the thing, like, and I've done that before. And I find that like everything inside of me wants to react. Like I would never put like my hand over somebody's mouth or like my finger over their mouth. But I feel like when you're talking during a movie, I don't care if it's a friend, girlfriend, whatever, you just want to be like, hey, could you just shut your mouth? Just close your mouth. Just don't say anything. Like, what is it?
I agree. Like, I'm one of those people, I don't mind if the movie shows, I have to take some out to see these things with the kids. I watch it sometimes months or sometimes a year after the movie comes out. So I'm one of those. I spoil the movie for myself for most shows. I go on Wikipedia. My wife always teases me like, "Why are you doing that? You're spoiling it for yourself." I basically joke, in case I die, at least I know how the movie ends. It's like people who like read the end of a book to know how the book will end. It's probably ridiculous and insane. But I like to go on Wikipedia, and sometimes anyone can write on Wikipedia, so it could be lies. But I usually like read what the plot is after the movie comes out, so I have no idea what happens. But I'm pretty good with the etiquette. I like joke. I'll make up when I see a movie with you or anyone else. I'll make up like fake things that happen in the movie, but usually it's intentionally fake, so you know I'm not spoiling for you. So I will keep the spoilers to myself. I'm very good with that. I'll keep a straight face as much as possible. I might, crack a smile if you ask a question about what happens, but I will not give it away. But usually for myself, I like to spoil the movie, but I would not do that to anyone else. I joke that I would open up a theater and shout out, like if I was at the theater to see the Sixth Sense movie before anyone saw it, and say, Bruce Willis is dead the whole movie. He's a ghost the whole movie. I feel like I would love to do that, but I would never have the guts and never be nasty enough to do that, because I would never want to spoil anyone's time. And their night out, let's say they got the babysitter to watch the kids, and they finally have this fun distraction to get away
you don't
from
ruin
their
movies
lives for a moment to watch a movie. I'd like to do that, but I'd never do that. So I keep the spoilers in my head. So at least I give myself credit for that. I will spoil myself, but I will not spoil other people's experiences.
No, that is, and you know what? I want to, on this edition of Arson and Coke, I want to say that's, I love you to pieces, but that's entirely false, because you have attempted to ruin many movies and TV shows for me. And so, I mean, like, Ross and I get on the phone, and I'd be like, years ago, and I'd be like, "Hey, buddy," and he's like, "Oh, what are you up to?" I'd be like, "Oh, I'm about to go see the new M. Night Shyamalan movie." He's like, "Oh, well, in the middle of the movie, you find out the twist that they're actually just pretending that villain is there, and the villain doesn't exist, and then that one girl dies, and the other guy gets a fever, but don't worry, he doesn't die." And then I'm like, "Ross, why would you tell me that?" And you're like, "Well," and he's like, "Well, I didn't tell you the ending, that like after all of it, you find out that it was real." And I'm like, "Are you like?" It came to the point where any time I was going to see a movie, I couldn't call Ross. Like, I could call anybody in my phone, but if I was on the way to a movie, I would not even put myself in a situation to talk to him on the phone with the threat that you would tell me.
Like, I will wait. I will make sure you've seen the movie or show before I let it out.
Now, because you have a heart. Before Abby, you did not care. It was balls to the wall. You told me the ending of every movie.
And then I still like to say, I'll just make up fake people who I think die in the movie. I still will make up fake spoilers, but I at least know in the last decade I've gone way better with that. Where the only information I will give is after I know you've seen the movie, and after and I will just make up fake stories that happen in the movie that I know will not spoil it because they're not true at all. I'll just make up that like Mother Teresa shows up in the movie and starts fighting bad guys. So I'm like, these things aren't happening in the movie, but I will say something so outlandish that Babe Ruth comes and hits a home run off the Incredible Hulk. I'll say things that can't be true, and that's the only thing I will give away now, unless I know you've seen it. If you see it, then I could base my Wikipedia knowledge, which is probably only half correct, with what you've seen in your movie.
I think the last time Ross ruined a movie for me, he said something like, "Well, at least I didn't tell you that the lady dies in the end." And I was like, "Ross, stop talking." And you're like, "Well, I didn't say her name was Jill." I'm like, I'm getting off the phone. Because I can't go see the movie. And the thing is like, I still want to see the movie. But Ross used to do it. He used to enjoy it. Like, he used to call me up, and he used to be like, "Dan," he's like, "this is what happens." And he's like, and I'm like, "Why would you tell me that?" He's like, "Well, I ruined it for myself, so I might as well tell you." And I was like, "Why would you do that to anybody?" So Ross is, that he lied on the show just now in Arson and Coke.
No, I remember before. It's been at least a decade since I've done that, where I've given real spoilers out. It's been at least.
Yeah, but you know what? I still get the chills when I talk to you about a movie. I'm not going to tell you the movie I'm seeing today because I'm concerned. Like, I still have little remnants of. I have PTSD from when you used to lie to me, or when you used to tell me things that happened in the movies and ruin movies. Listen.
I admit, you say I take joy of watching people sometimes suffer when they can't enjoy something. When it would sometimes be Lent and you were able to have meat on Fridays, I would, when we go to a movie cinema, I'd get like the taco pizza slice that had extra meat, and I'd eat in front of you with a smile on my face, and just as kind of messy.
And what would you say?
You were able to eat meat that
and
day.
what would you say to me? You would say, Dan, you could have this, but your God doesn't let you. You would say stuff like that to me.
I would basically just try to tease you and lure you to try to go to the dark side and eat this pizza with meat on it.
And then
you held strong, but I was trying to see how far I could push.
He goes like, Ross would go like this. He'd go, I'm going to get taco pizza. I'm like, crap, I love the taco pizza. And he'd be like, you can get it. And you would look at me and you go, I won't tell anyone. This will just be between you and me. I won't let anybody know.
I was just like, I wanted to see chaos. I wanted to watch the world burn. So I wanted to see, could I make you lure you to the dark side and enjoy some meat on pizza even on a Friday when you said you wouldn't do it. So I was trying to. You stood strong.
There's
I
a
was
different.
trying to get you to get to that point.
It's a different Ross back then. He had a marriage contract. There was a lot of different Ross things going on back in the day.
Back then. Like I said, some of that's still there, but I think I have the choice.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Okay, I'm going to see Knock at the Cabin. Don't you dare say anything to me.
Okay. M. Night Shyamalan,
I love M. Night Ramalama Ding Dong. You know I love him.
I know you're like earmuffs. I can't hear anything.
No.
All I know is what I saw in the trailer. Dave Bautista's in it. There's a few different famous people you've seen. The guy who's the voice of what's his name, of Kristoff from Frozen, and he's in it. He's one of the guys in it. There's a little girl in it. There's supposed to post-apocalyptic thing. This is all they tell you in the trailer. And there's a weird dilemma and choice they have to make. And like I said, with M. Night Shyamalan, there's going to be a weird twist.
Wouldn't it be cool, though?
The middle or the end of the movie. So I'm curious. I'll probably go on Wikipedia later, or you can tell me after what the twist will be, because I don't know when I'll see this movie. Yeah. But there has to be a twist in this weird.
Well, I'm not telling you what time I'm going to see it, because if I tell you I'm going to see it at 3, you're going to go to Wikipedia at 2. So I'm not doing that.
You're on your way to the movie.
And now, because Ross knows what he used to do, he'll mess with me and he'll text me but he's like, Dan, I could let you know, I could save you $14, but it's like, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about this movie with M. Night Shyamalan. You just said it. You said the guy that plays like Kristoff or whatever from Frozen. Wouldn't this be a
very creepy movie? And the weird dilemma, what you would do to save your family, your young child, or save all of humanity, to save the world. That's basically the choice in the trailer. They tell you that he's being told that he has to decide.
But think about this, okay? Think about if this movie, right, was a little bit different, and instead of the guy that plays Kristoff in Frozen, it was Josh Gad who plays Olaf. Then it would be a totally different movie.
It might be a comedy. It might be like a weird dark comedy. If he was
or a musical.
And singing songs.
Yeah. So with that being said, this has been a very all over the place edition.
Very little sports talk besides the news that I shared. That's basically his call was pushed me. And it was funny. While we're doing the show, I keep getting notifications on my smartwatch and on my phone. The call sending me things about what the conversation me and you are having and what he likes and dislikes about it. And he's cracking jokes like he's part of the show by sending me cryptic messages that keep popping up on the phone while we're talking. So I'm watching these notifications while we're talking and trying to focus on that. So Carl, for some reason, is awake. Whether he's on his office phone on the toilet or what he's doing, he's awake and he's very much engaged into this conversation. But there was very little actual sports talk besides the baseball news with coaching stuff. And then it went all over the place. But I still think it was a very fun dialogue, and we got a lot of things discussed, so all over the map. And it's just like always, Arson Coke, I think, deliver a fun, relatable time. And I can't wait to see that new Ant-Man movie with you. We'll find a way to get it done, and we'll light that match as Arson and Coke. As we'll get it done, the dynamic duo back in full force. And I know you like to scream out fake news. Baseball season's almost here.
No,
10 days away.
No.
Pitchers and catchers in sunny Arizona and Florida. It makes me warm in my snowy house in Dallas, PA, where there was snow. It's cold with the wind chill. It's 3 below zero.
It's not real.
When I see warm weather and palm trees and just Aaron Judge flipping the ball, having a catch with Giancarlo Stanton on the Yankees, it makes me feel warm. And I'm very excited that baseball's back. The first spring training game is February 25th with the Yankees. So very excited about that. And then March 30th, it's going to be freezing cold probably at Yankee Stadium. It's going to be Yankees-Giants opening day. And the Rail Riders, AAA in Scranton, is March 31st. So next month, not only is that we're going to have spring training games and the World Baseball Classic March 8th through the 21st, which is our World Cup for baseball, by the end of next month, we're a month away from having real baseball games that count. in the stands. I know you think that's insane. There 162 game season. There's new rules. No shifts. There's gonna be a pitch clock. There's gonna be all these larger bases. All these different things. In the minor leagues, they're gonna have robotic umpires tell you what's a real ball or strike. So they take the human error out of the way with people saying what's a ball or strike. That will come to the big leagues one day too. They say possibly in like 2 years. But yeah, baseball is back. I know you say I'm crazy. I'm giving you updates and countdowns on the clock. But spring training is this month. Games are this month, and the games that count are already next month. So read it or weep it. Baseball is back, and I'm loving it. And so enjoy your movies. Enjoy the Super Bowl. My quick prediction of the Super Bowl. I don't know if
wait a second. Wait a second. I want to say something to you. I want to say something to you for a second. I want to say something to you right now. How dare you bring your made-up fake baseball news to my show, number one. And number two, because it's not real. But here's the thing. You said the Chiefs score, right? I said that I think it's going to be 28-23. And that might not be like the end score, but I feel like it's going to be. And you just said 27-24. So.
Who do you have winning?
Oh, this is a tough one, man. I'm probably going to say Eagles. Well, if I have to choose today, I'm probably going to say Eagles 28-23 because that was the score.
It's a tough one because I'm a big fan of Pat Mahomes. My wife and the kids love Juju Smith-Schuster, who's coming off a knee injury. And he's been up and down this year for Kansas City, but he was a Steeler for 5 years. They love him as a big-time Steeler fans. You have the first brother versus brother Super Bowl, so the mom and dad will be so excited. They each have a Super Bowl already. They're future Hall of Famers. And All-Pro center Jason Kelce of the Eagles and Travis Kelce the stud tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. So you got brother versus brother. They even have a podcast of the Kelce Super Bowl. Andy Reid was the head coach of the Eagles for 14 years. Took them to a Super Bowl that they lost to Brady and the Patriots. They eventually beat Brady and the Patriots with one of his quarterback proteges, Doug Peterson, as the head coach, who's now the coach of your Jaguars. Did a great job with Trevor Lawrence. So the Eagles eventually got revenge on Brady and the Patriots and Nick Foles as the reserve for Carson Wentz when that Super Bowl. So Andy Reid, you got him against his former team, the Eagles and the Chiefs. One of those teams is going to win the Super Bowl. So it's the Andy Reid Bowl. You have the Kelce Brother Bowl. You have Juju Smith-Schuster. You have Pat Mahomes, who's been to 5 straight AFC Championship games all at home. 3rd Super Bowl appearance. Won the first against the Giants. Won the first one against the 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo in a big comeback. Then he got blown out by Brady and the Buccaneers, where he's running for his life. The offensive line could not protect him against that pass rush of Tampa Bay 2 years ago. And now he gets a third chance at it. And as great as he is, though, and he's coming off with an ankle injury, and Jalen Hurts, the Eagles, has the shoulder injury. If it doesn't go well, the Skip Baylesses, the sports critics, will go after Pat Mahomes, as great as he is. You know, he's not going to get to Brady's 7 Super Bowls. And Brady just retired. We think it will stick this time. He retired a year ago, February 1st. He retired again February 1st. He claims this time it's for real. It's going to be very hard for anyone to win.
And the movie coincidentally came out the second he retired.
Played forever. When he started playing, I was in, I think, a freshman in high school. So, and now I'm a 36-year-old man. So it's a lot of stuff. I think it's going to be a fun Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to the commercials, the halftime performance with Rihanna. She even has, talking about the Black Panther new movie, she has a big song in that one that's nominated for an Oscar. So Lift Me Up, I think it's called. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun Super Bowl. But I'm very pumped. I'm going with the Eagles 27-24. I'll be happy either way because I like the Kansas City Chiefs as well. And there's so many great storylines. I'm just going to think that Philly has enough with their defense, and Jalen Hurts and that offense and that Russian attack will have enough. So I think the Eagles win 27-24. I'm just hoping for a good Super Bowl. And then as soon as that's over, it's time for baseball, baby, because it's going to get warm out, at least in my delusional mind, because they're going to be thrown in Florida and Arizona. And then next month, they're going to play for real in freezing cold New York and all the Northeast places, which is sometimes insane to play baseball that time of year, but it's good. I'm very excited. Once football's over, it's baseball's time to take the stage. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be I'm very excited for this. 2 Super Bowls in 5 years for the Philadelphia Eagles, 2 appearances, different coaches, and an opportunity to win another one after they beat the Patriots 41-33 back in February of 2018 in the 2017-18 season that almost saw the Jaguars on the other side of that, which they were 4 points away from making it to that championship game, which would have been really cool, and hopefully they'll be able to do that soon.
So the quarterback, Blake Bortles, who I think is now retired. He just recently retired, and was mostly a journeyman, disappointment quarterback in his career, but he almost took them to a Super Bowl, Blake Bortles, which is insane. And the Eagles this is their second quarterback and second coach in this 5-year run going into this. They've been, every year that Mahomes has been the starter, he's been in the AFC Championship game, has not lost a playoff game in regulation, only in overtime. So it's very hard to pick against the Chiefs, and I know his ankle's banged up, but he's playing through it, and you think he'll give it his all. We'll just have to see. And a lot of their wide receivers are banged up, so the Chiefs have a lot of injuries. The Eagles have some injuries, and they're playing through it. Lane Johnson on offensive line, Jalen Hurts, and all those guys are playing banged up. But we'll just see who's healthier, who wants it more. I'll give a slight edge to Philly, but it can definitely go either way. So I'm looking forward to a great game. I had to throw that in there because I didn't know if we're going to get on before next week's Super Bowl on February 12th. I had to throw in my Super Bowl prediction. I'm sure you'll put a poll up on your Facebook page, but I had to throw that in there before we left the air today.
Yeah, there was a poll, and as of most recently, Philadelphia, that I checked it, Philadelphia was winning the poll thus far. So we shall see what happens here as we step forward. But always
good. I would say also with Brady. Do you think Brady stays retired? I think he finally does stay retired. Maybe the Niners tempt him. They have a ready-made superstar team, and Brock Purdy's hurt now, and Trey Lance, we don't know. Jimmy Garoppolo, they said has no chance to come back to the 49ers. They said in a press conference. I think Brady is done, but I know because he went back on his words after just 40 days last year, and it kind of cost his marriage. Who knows what it was before they got divorced. I know my brother, Cole, was posting me after he announced his retirement. He probably was like saying anything that John Cusack scene when he puts the radio up to the window, and he was trying to ask for Giselle to take it back now that he's retired. I don't know if that will work, but do you think the Brady retirement sticks? I think it will, but people will doubt it until they see like almost a full year go by and him not play. Because when training camp starts, he might start itching and getting ready to play football, and it might be hard even at 46 next year to not play football. It might be hard to let go.
You know, I think Brady likes people talking about him. I think he likes the attention. So even if he does stay retired, I think that he's at least going to enjoy the conversation and the attention. So
with people, yeah.
And so I mean, do I think he's retired? Yeah, right now, when people are like, "Oh, don't say anything nice about me," and then they beckon you to say more. I mean, I think Brady likes to be the center of attention. I mean, think about it. This movie, 80 for Brady, came out right after he retired. So it's like...
So that's going to probably up the ticket sales even more. And if he had signed a contract before this past season, which right now looks like his last year in the NFL, he, without any broadcast experience, speaking of your vocal doctor coach, he signed a 10-year, $375 million contract, which is more overall money than he made during his entire amazing greatest football career. He will make more money as a broadcaster. 10 years, $375 million, over $37 million a year to be the lead broadcaster with Kevin Burkhardt for Fox Sports and be broadcasting Super Bowls. And if Fox has the Super Bowl this year, they'll probably keep Greg Olson, which I feel bad. I think he does a great job broadcasting the games with Burkhardt, but he probably will be thrown aside, and they'll keep Olson at least for the Super Bowl. But I wouldn't be surprised if they let Tom Brady on the air to get people ready, because as of now, if they keep to that contract, next year he'll be the lead broadcaster for all the big games on Fox. Brady, without much broadcast experience, but they want the ratings, they want the excitement. So even if he doesn't come back, Brady will be a big-time broadcaster on Fox. He has 80 for Brady. He has the TB12 method where he could look like he's 30 years old for the next 50 years and live forever. So he will be in the attention, and I think sometimes he will tweak fans and media people to tease that he could come back, possibly, just to mess with people.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's going to be around in the spotlight, milking it up, saying he doesn't want it, but smiling when he gets it, for the rest of humanity. And it's just reality. And so if you like Tom Brady, great. If you don't like Tom Brady, great. And at the end of the day, I would just, listen, Tom is Tom, and he's the GOAT. And he's the greatest quarterback that's ever played when it comes to wins and all that good stuff. And, yeah, I mean, do I like watching Tom talk about Tom and milk Tom and it's all about Tom? No, I don't. I mean, I don't enjoy it. It's not fun for me to see that. Do I like to see him open mouth, 2-minute kiss his 12-year-old son? No, it was gross. But, at the end of the day, Tom Brady is a good quarterback. Hopefully he'll be a good broadcaster. I wish him the best. I hope everybody gets to chase their dreams and chases them and catches them and chases some new ones and does better than they ever thought they would do. So I wish Tom the best.
Give that number to Tom Brady. Yeah, Tom Brady might need some assistance.
Listen, do I think he's going to retire as of right now? No. But do I think it's done? No, I never think it's done with Tom Brady, but we shall see. And, and we'll see where he goes from here, and hopefully things go well, and they keep Greg Olson and find a way to have a place for everybody at Fox that does a great job. So we'll see.
We talk about sports. Even if it was at the end, we talk about sports. And the last thing I'll say, Sean Payton's back in the league. He's leaving he worked out the deal with the Saints, having to trade draft picks. He will be the Denver Broncos coach, trying to revitalize Russell Wilson, who was a disaster last year. So he's going to be in Denver. And your buddy Hackett, who used to be at Syracuse, he got fired from the Broncos. They gave him very short, time there. They struggled. Wilson struggled. They blamed it on Hackett. He became scapegoat. He will now be my Jets offensive coordinator. And in a perfect world, he will lure his best buddy Aaron Rodgers, who they worked together in Green Bay very successfully on offense. Maybe he can get Aaron Rodgers to come to the Jets and end their 12-year playoff drought. I know I might be drinking the Kool-Aid and wishful thinking, but I would love to see your buddy Hackett do a great job as the offensive coordinator and maybe get Aaron Rodgers to come to New York for a couple of years and maybe change the Jets' fortune. So lots of football stuff. Baseball's on its way. Basketball, hockey. LeBron James about to break the all-time scoring record with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Hockey All-Star game this week. It's just so much fun stuff. And of course, Ant-Man. So we will definitely go see that, buddy. And so much fun things to talk about.
Yeah, definitely look forward to it and appreciate everything we got to talk about here with Arson and Coke, and we'll see if Tom Brady can stay retired through the weekend, and we'll go from here. Ross, as always, I appreciate you, and give my best to your wonderful, beautiful, and amazing wife, to your family, and definitely to my niches, and please, 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 please give my best to your family, and also sending a hug your way for Mosey as well.
Yeah, our puppy, he was almost 14 years old. My mom's puppy, when I used to live next door, I would take them for walks. Back when I didn't have to wake up early in the morning, I'd wake up at 12 in the noon and kind of sleep in every day. I would feel embarrassed how late I could sleep in. I'd be like a college student in my mid-20s when I was out of college, and I'd take them for late night walks at 2 a.m. in Scranton, and I loved that puppy. I did get to say goodbye to him. I got to see him after the basketball doubleheader at Penn State Scranton on Tuesday. I didn't know how much more time he had, so I went to go visit my parents and see him and hug him and kiss him and tell him that he's loved. So I hope he knows that he was beloved in this life, and I hope he had a great life for these 14 years. And Susie passed away a few months before that, and hopefully they will be reunited in puppy heaven up on that puppy farm. And it's sad to say goodbye. And when I left their house and gave him a kiss, I had a feeling that I was never going to see him again. But I'm very happy that I got a chance to see him one more time. And they were both great puppies. I will miss them terribly, but thank you for the condolences and the well wishes. And Mosey, you're greatly loved. The whole family loves you very much.
Yeah, Susie and Moses, I remember them. I remember when your mom got them, and those two giant dogs would join us in eating Stouffer's frozen lasagna.
Yeah. Seem that long ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's about 14 years ago now, and
they would join us for meatballs and frozen lasagna, and those two dogs would jump on me and run into the kitchen and just like hit your leg and stay with you and sit with you on the floor. And I mean, I remember when you got them, and I remember being with them and going over and hanging out in your apartment a lot and getting to be, spend time across the hall with Susie and Moses. So they mean a lot to me too. They always have, and always close to my heart because they always treated me so well. And, two dogs that part of my extended family. And every time they jumped on me and gave me kisses and, greeted you at the door, I'll never forget Susie and Moses, and we'll get to see them again someday. So shout out to the Rainbow Bridge where they'll be waiting for you all. And God bless to them both being together right now, which is what they always wanted to do, I'm sure. So I'm happy they get to spend some time on the clouds chasing each other today.
Yeah, I hope they're running free, and their legs, their hips, all the things that were failing them towards the end, they're totally healthy and living the life. Because, like I said, it's still hard to say goodbye. I know when people kind of tell you, and then I told myself, I'm not gonna try to get too invested by it because I don't want to get my heart broken. But it still breaks your heart when you see it, and it's very hard to say goodbyes. So I know everyone who owns a puppy or a big time pet who becomes a part of your family, it definitely is more than just a pet in your house. They become an extension of your family. They are family, so it's very hard to say goodbye. So we had a great 14 years, and hopefully one day we'll see each other again.
And a big shout out to Marianne, who is part of my family as well. She had to say see you soon to Pippin. So soon I want Marianne to live to be 100 years old, but see you down the road. So I know Pippin's on the Rainbow Bridge as well. Her heart, and I know that she's very sad today with Pippin having passed away. So Pippin to Susie and Moses, as well as to Mordu and Cinnamon and Shady, all up in heaven, and all the dogs I know up there, Ramsey, Pal, Molly, and Holly. My best to each and every single one of you. God bless you, and to Duke as well. And we look forward to seeing you all someday. And I know you're all playing and having a good time, so much love to Pippin as well. And Ross, as always, much love to you and the family. I look forward to talking with you soon. And it's always good to catch up with you. Congratulations on the new job. I can't wait to talk with you about it off the air and celebrate with you and pop some bottles in Pennsylvania. So
anytime we get an actual schedule going, you're invited to go to any game you want. They said I could have as many volunteer coaches that I want, so you could even be on the field. And you want to throw some band practice or hit some fundos, hit the ball around, you are definitely invited. So the people who are close to me in my inner circle, they can definitely, I want this to be an experience where if they want to help out or be a part of the experience, even for a game or practice, you're very welcome to come aboard and help out as we try to build up this baseball program. And I think it will be a fun, exciting journey along the way. So anytime, you are very much welcome.
Well, I appreciate that. And the same goes for you on the air and with everything that I do. Always. I never know how to say see you later because you are the best of the best friends. And so I love you, buddy, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Thank you, buddy. And we will definitely see some Ant-Man. So Arson Coke, it was a pleasure. And one last time, Jeremy!
All right, brother, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Coming from Ross here on the broadcast on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora over Sports Meets Life. We'll take a final step aside in the Cafe Kubal studios. Wrap up the show right after this.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus, where you will find handcrafted all-natural soy wax candles over 60 cents to freshen up your home. We carry a wide range of locally made items, Salsa Q's, Syracuse Salt, and Chocolate Pizza Company, to name a few. Let our knowledgeable staff help choose unique gifts and keepsakes for any occasion. Gifts for family and friends, and maybe a little something for yourself. Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus.
This is a special message from Merritt Brady, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Watertown on 1290 Arsenal Street in Watertown, New York.
Chick-fil-A for me has always been about the people. I think it starts with the strength and leadership of the Cathy family. It's just amazing to see a family-run business reach the altitude that they have. Second mile service is something that we embodied at my previous business, and the ability to make people feel like they're the only person at your establishment, that you are there to serve them that day and looking for those extra ways to make them happy, to anticipate what they need next is what makes me tick. And I'm going to have so many opportunities at Chick-fil-A to do that. It's one of my favorite things to eat in the world. My favorite application question or interview question when I'm interviewing is when I get to, have you ever eaten at Chick-fil-A? And a smile hits both their ears. They can't even answer the question for a second. And when I see that, it's like, man, that's going to be a great hire. They already get it. They already feel it. They already know that we're different. The Chick-fil-A experience, it's a real thing. And then, of course, just our generosity and community involvement and making a positive impact in the lives of our team members, our guests, and the community in general, I think is really the secret sauce.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Cafe Kubal on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, in their giant behemoth of a brown striped building. I call it the Manlius Welcome Center. You can't miss it. Where all roads converge into Manlius, you'll find it right there for you. And, of course, on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location of North Syracuse. You can go to cafekubal.com as well to order from them today. That being said, I want to thank you for tuning in every Monday through Friday. Under promise, over deliver, right past 12 o'clock today. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com, facebook.com, and mixlr.com, all / Wake Up Call DT, wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, and on facebook.com / live now DT. You can also check us out there Monday through Friday live from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time worldwide. And you can find us on all of these podcasting outlets, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, TuneIn, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, Podbean, Podvine, Player FM. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, and you'll find us on any one of these amazing streaming platforms. And of course, we thank our incredible partners in our community for everything that you do to make this such an awesome experience and to reach out to the community in so many unique and special and very purposeful ways. So a big shout out and a big thanks to Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, as well as the Wildcat Sports Pub, Witty Wicks, Avicoli's, PB&J's Lunchbox, Mon Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Canine Kamp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Watertown, Great Lakes Honda City, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Mother's Cupboard, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, 317 at Montgomery. The name of the restaurant is the name of the location in downtown Syracuse. And, of course, Pizza Man, as well as being the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your we have Dolphin Time Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Set it and keep it every single week. Dolphin Time is Wednesdays at 9 a.m. to start Wake Up Call's broadcast. Every first and third Wednesday of each month, we have AD and DT with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, Dolphin Dive, diving into the stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. You can get all the content of the Dolphins that we have in our exclusive partnership by going to the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com and by subscribing to our YouTube channel on youtube.com / wakeupcalldt. Of course, you can get more information at LeMoyneDolphins.com, and as always, fins up. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of the Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. The Bobcat Buzz comes to you every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, featuring our coverage of their men's and women's soccer teams, men's and women's basketball teams, their upcoming baseball team in their inaugural season, and esports will be coming up as well. The Bobcat Buzz can be found by going to the BSC Syracuse tab on wakeupcalldt.com for our library of content. You can also get all of our Bobcat Buzz specials by joining us on YouTube, subscribing at youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Check out the most recent story with Tay Baker and his daughter celebrating the 10-1 start to the women's basketball program. And for more information on the Bobcats, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. That's right, Bobcat Nation. It's always go Bobcats. With that being said here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank you for being with us all week long. I want to thank God above everything for letting me be here all week long. I did not feel good. I'm still not 100%, but I did not feel good, and I didn't know how I was going to get through the week and not be in pain. And here I am today, and I feel the least amount of pain I felt all week. We've done an entire week of shows. We did a special with Liverpool girls and boys bowling at Avicoli's last night, because we're at Avicoli's every single month with our Liverpool Warriors show with the student athletes and coaches all throughout the year. I want to thank Avicoli's and Liverpool High School for that. Go to Avicoli's at 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, literally right down the street from Liverpool High School. So we got to do the special engagement. I got to go out to the Bryan and Stratton women's basketball game. I got to go out to the Lemoyne College games this week as well for men's and women's basketball. Got to get there at the end of the women's game, coming off of Bryan and Stratton, see the men's game. So grateful to be able to do that. Grateful that I've been able to go out to lunch and see a lot of my business partners. Shout out to, everybody I've gotten to see, including Jay Cartini of Carvel DeWitt and Pat Orr of PB&J's Lunchbox. And we got to do a full week of shows. So didn't know how I was going to do it. Didn't know how I was going to feel. Didn't want to be in pain. Can't thank God enough. Seriously, I owe everything in my life to God. And, if the world doesn't want to mention God, that's fine. I'm going to continue to do it. And because I'm nothing without God, and I'm not here this week speaking without God. I mean, I prayed and I prayed for answers and for relief and for somebody to help. And thank you to God that it's all worked out and that I'm here and I feel good and I feel better, and I'm just grateful. I'm just very eternally grateful. Truly, God, thank you for everything. So the annoying moment of the week, Carvel DeWitt, thank them for that. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, thank you for that. Top Dog of the Week, big thanks to Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And, of course, a big thanks to my buddy Ross Turetsky for being my other half of Arson and Coke. With that being said, from the Cafe Kubal Studios, find us 24/7 on Facebook. We just made a huge announcement of a new segment called Christie's Corner that starts next week with International Boxing Hall of Famer Christy Salters Martin. You don't want to miss that, so check out our social media so you can see my big announcement and her response to the announcement as well. So 2 awesome videos that are on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at wakeupcall_DT. So see the big announcement and see Christy's response on all of those. And as always, God bless, no stress, do your best. Have a fantastic day. Please go out and support the incredible partners that support Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here in Central and Upstate New York and beyond. And please be good to each other. Above all things, take care of yourself, take care of each other, be kind to each other, and live every second, because as I have learned,